make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight.
Hello Twitch and YouTube. Welcome to the second
Open
part of
eye.
the IBC
Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight.
another classes along my side.
Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.
My name is Graffiti and I am very
Dripping lights paint
1v1 show. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here, and we have some really interesting things going on in the brackets, but we'll get to that a little bit later. For now, this is a little bit of a reminder to follow IBC on all platforms that we have. You got the Twitch that you're watching in right now, and also the YouTube, and also use !Discord to join in on the Discord. It is a very friendly and lovely community, so make sure you join on in, and maybe get a few games in with some IBC fans. And also, don't forget to follow along with the brackets. You can type !Brackets in chat, and you can, see where your favorite players are at.
That's right, yeah. Thank you for introducing the commands to our viewers, Graffiti. With that, let's move on to the pre-show. So for the second part of the IBC May Championship, that is the 1v1 tournament, we have 190 participants. That's right. It's crazy, I'm telling you. Usually you see about 100 participants odd in most of the community tournaments, even in NAEU, and we have over 150, which is a very staggering number. So we thank each and every player for taking part. But of course, only one player will be crowned the champion, and we will witness that shortly. So yeah, as Graffiti said, make sure you follow us on Twitch and YouTube, as these are our main sites for streaming these epic Brawlhalla tournaments. Yeah, and join our Discord server as well. We have reached the 1,400 member mark, so yeah, we are very thrilled as I just say this. Hello. Yeah.
Oh, this is just going to be a quick little reminder on how the tournament works. It is a double elimination, which means that if you lose a set, you're all good. You got the loser's bracket as a little bit of a safety net, but if you lose in a loser's bracket, that is it. You are out. So every set in the tournament will be best of 3, except for top 8 for both winners and losers size, that all of which will be top 5. So of course, to get the best chance of winning possible, you want to enter top 8 on that winner's side, so you get as many best of 5s as possible to be able to fare as best as a chance as you can, and really make sure that you get yourself a few safety nets.
That's right, yeah. So now, coming to the most alluring part of our pre-show, the prizes. We are flexing a massive prize pool of $300. It's crazy, This is we are breaking all boundaries. We used to start off with giving out codes as prizes, and eventually we went on to $100 based prize pools, and now we are at $300. So it's an exciting journey, and we would love to I would take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, that is BMG and Alteration. Yeah. So thank you guys. Huge shout out to you guys.
So how about let's get into some of the more stronger and more noticeable players who are playing in this tournament.
That's right, yeah. Let's move on to the predictions.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll be giving you insights on how, on what sorts of players you can expect on the stream. So yeah, we'll be giving our views on who might actually go all the way. So yeah, going for the prediction. So that is my first pick. That is Keith. Oh, let me just. Oh shoot! Oh, it's only on the predictions scoreboard. Yeah. So Keith the Poo Poo, otherwise known as Keith, he is the recent champion of Southeast Asia. He doesn't need any introduction. He has been a consistent participant in all of the IBC tournaments, and he is my most favorite pick to go all the way and become the champion. And Graffiti, now it's your first pick.
For my first pick, I'd like to talk about Vortex for a little bit. I got a lot of faith in this guy. Vortex has huge potential, and also, like we said, if you use the commands in chat, if you check the bracket, Vortex has yet to lose a single game in the tournament. Not just not losing a set, staying on the winners bracket, but also not losing a single game, and that is definitely more than enough proof. But if you need a little bit more, he's also the one who dethroned the legendary Tiger, which still feels so recent. I still feel like you're riding that. I still feel like that Vortex is riding that high a little bit. So I got a lot of faith in Vortex. I feel like this is just Vortex's day right now.
Yeah, thank you for your words there. With that, we'll move on to my second pick, and that is Jerry K. Jerry K has been he has been participating a lot in the recent official tournament. Has been placing consistently well, especially in 2v2 tournaments. So it means that you can't keep Jerry down. So he's gonna bounce back and he's gonna take the W and dub. He's gonna get the gold. So that's what my prediction is, and this is my second pick. Moving on to graffitis.
I actually completely agree. Jerry K is a very, very strong competitor, and also has been a very long-standing competitor. Some of the people that we've been talking about, they've only really just started to come into this level and break the top 10 PR. At least the best of my knowledge, quite recently. But Jerry K has been here for as long as I can remember and has stood the tests of time. You got people who stay there for a little bit, but sometimes they slip a little bit. But nah, not Jerry K. So Jerry K, just like you said, always bounces back and never really keep him down.
That's
Really,
true.
just a phenomenal player with a really solidified mental. You can never really break him. He always comes back, and he is always here to just kick some butt.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for your words on it. And all right, guys, that's it for the predictions. We'll just be taking we'll just be taking a breather, and we'll be right back as soon as possible. Until then, just chill to the music. The next time you'll be hearing our voices will be in the game lobby. Okay. Okay, we are unmuted. Yeah. Now this is the first game between Himbi and Raigandis.
Now, if you made note, Ragundas is an Australian player, so it is honestly a little funny to see him here, but he is more than welcome. It's actually very interesting to see how the regions are going to clash, because especially since we have MSI Mid-Season Invitational coming up, I'm forgetting if they're both invited, but still, the clash of regions and, which region, my region could beat your region. That's always a little argument that, that Brawlhalla players always love to have. So this is, this is happening right here. Himway opening up with some pretty strong greatsword, going to put Rigundes into orange, but Rigundes is able to answer back.
That's true. Yeah, you were mentioning about the inter-region competition, and between SEA and Australia, it's even crazy, as I can, if I should say. Oh, room code. Wait, let me give you the room code. It's, just a second.
Yeah, Rigundes had a bit of a difficulty trying to open up. You can even see him, he even tried to start a little bit of an offensive standpoint. You can notice that he was really trying to put the best foot forward, really just trying to come out swinging at the gates, but Himley was just able to shut that down, although Rigundes was able to get a swift little KO off the side right there. The opening game and the first few impressions definitely go in the favor of Himway's Jae-Yun, so we're gonna have to see how well they're able to, kind of counteract that and maybe come back from that later, although Himway is starting to open this second stock quite nicely like a fresh can of soda. You can hear that pop with every sidelight connecting.
Great point there. Great point.
Regundus actually did really well on sword for that first stock. Maybe hammer was where it started to slip a little bit. Maybe Regundus doesn't feel too confident with his hammer going into great sword, or maybe just Himway has a hammer counter. Either way, this sword I think is really where Regundus is going to shine a little bit more. Regundus going all out for this edge guard with a bunch of weapon throws, a bunch of ground pounds, not quite able to connect. Himway able to get back his way back onto stage, grabs the great sword, and still just keeps on swaying and just trying to get a little bit more damage, while Regundus is going to be focusing on the KO, while Himway is already starting to focus their sights on the KO too. We can see a bunch of N6 coming out, but Regundus is able to balance out the stocks.
And now both the players are on their last stocks. Himbi is in a definite lead here. This looks like Himbi will take the first game, but of course this also means that he's giving out a statement. He's telling that he's the better sword player here. So yeah, just as I say that, he cleans it up nice and well.
We can also take a quick little peek at these levels. A level 100 Bodvar going into this level
So
36.
it's no longer a surprise. The thing
Jayan.
is, Raigund is always known for his board war. Even on the, if you have caught him on the official streams, he has never, board war is a standard pick, if I should say. So I'm absolutely not surprised when I saw that pick there from Raigund.
I mean, hey, he's got the most balanced stats of the game. He's kind of like the icon. He's like the Pikachu of Brawlhalla, you know? He's the icon. He's
That's
the
true,
guy.
that's true. No, when you mentioned Pikachu, I can remember one thing. Boardwar can both. He can be both. I mean, he can be very scary and he can be very basic at the same time. So Pikachu, yeah, he can. Oh wait, what? Oh shoot, what happened to him? Did he just lose out on his first stock?
Yeah,
kind of
I think.
Internet issues. Oh, this is the state of all online games, but yeah. You just gotta. Raigund is go. Oh, Raigund just doesn't stop there. He's going after. I think Himby is AFK. I mean, I think Himby's internet is down. That's the reason he's not able to dodge any of those. No, okay. Now it feels like he's back, but it's too late.
Yeah, the opening game was still very much Himway's, but Ragunda's is taking a full capitalization. That's a big word. Is taking huge advantage of Himway with
so
some
cheeky.
overcommit.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, with some overcommits. Although Himway is being very, very trigger happy with these end sigs, and it's a pretty good sig on Jayon, especially from that greatsword. So I really don't blame them that much. Ragunda's, I think it's also just the map. I don't know if Himway really wanted to be on this map. Platforms, people don't really talk about it that much as the weapons themselves, but sometimes platforms can be a bit of a heated discussion, what maps are best to play on for which weapon or to counter which characters. It's a whole rock, paper, scissors times a million, but right now, what is much more simpler math, too easy to understand than times 1 million is Himway being on last stock, sudden death, compared to Ragunda's rocking quite steady on 2 stocks. So, however, whichever one of them is going to be able to finish out a stock, Himway just mashing some sigs.
Then again, see, Himby got more than what he bargained for. He's the one who chose Enigma. And yeah, he will be more careful, considering how it didn't go well in the second game. And see, immediately we see Himby banning Enigma, which is yeah. Oh shoot, that's right. See, Himby immediately banned that, and he's back to sight. So it means that he's back to business now. He's no longer playing games anymore.
It's actually kind of an interesting matchup. Both of these characters have weapons that the community has argued are very powerful and meta weapons. Ragunda's on that hammer. Hammer's been a staple in every community, every region, every tournament. There's always been a few Hammer players, in the midst there. And Himway on the Scythe, which has gotten a lot of love recently, especially, you see all those people on Mordex. You see a decent amount of people on Fate. You see a lot of people playing Scythe right now. And also, along with a powerful weapon, we have Hammer and Scythe. We also have a pretty standard weapon, Orb and Sword. They're very, just like Bodvar himself, a little bit more easy to understand, not as many gimmicks. It's a very straightforward weapon, very all-around, good for everything, and that's part of the reason why they're such good weapons, is because they're supposed to be good at everything. They're not really supposed to have many gimmicks, unlike Scythe or Hammer, which does, it does have some things that make it different from other weapons, make it feel different from other fighting games, and you can also see it's becoming very apparent how they're trying to approach each other by the weapons they're trying to choose. Himway mainly choosing a bit of Scythe, but is now actually trying to make some work with Orb and his already overlapped Rigundas in damage before he's able to pick up a weapon.
Yeah, he's been consistent with all weapons today. That's what we can see. Oh, with that he gets the knockout again with not there. No, first we had an excellent display of Scythe gameplay, and then immediately the Orb with. And then, yeah, that was a close to 0 to death, if I'm not wrong. He just got a couple of hits here and there. You can call it a 0 to death. And he doesn't stop. Raigund has no answer for, Himby's Fate pick here. He absolutely has no answer. He's just been... this isn't Raigund's game. He should just, get off this and try to regroup as quickly as possible here. This looks out of hand for Raigund. Oh, but as I say that, that was an excellent... that was not one of the best options there, but it worked. So, if it works, it works. And he went for the GC side sig. Himby are trying to be cheeky. Instead of going for the recovery, he just went for the GC N heavy directly. Oh, another recovery should do it though. That should be the game. Yeah, that should be the game. Yes. With that, Himby takes the second game, and Himby is leading.
Yeah, and also another really cool thing about Himway, if you watch very carefully, you notice the way that Himway really likes to make their punishes and their options really extend as far as possible. Usually when you get a punish, it's just like the closest move available, like, oh, a little dare here, a little nair here. Nah, Himway goes all the way. Whenever Himway gets a punish, they're able to turn it into a full combo, and they really make sure that your mistakes... they really punish you as hard as they possibly can for your mistakes. So Rigundas, of course, easier said than done, just has to make less mistakes around Himway to try to be able to get a few more seconds to breathe, get a good few more hits in, and make the game even. And also, it could just be the map. We can see Rigundas thinking very carefully about what maps, banning some...
It's not, it's not some guy. It's Lazy Bones and Graffiti, all right? We are the ones casting this tournament. Yeah. And also, you cannot have the room code. Come on, man. If you give you the room code, then you know who will watch the stream. So that's why we don't give the room code. But somebody already revealed the room code on chat, so I'm not going to say anything else.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, we'll be heading on to game number 4. Himby leading. This is potentially the last game for Himby. He can just close it off here. He was looking excellent in the previous game, and yeah, it should be all the more reason that he can close it up in this game.
Although there are a few more platforms here compared to the last game, and Enigma is really where Himway just kind of, you can even see it in their mental. Himway was kind of like, all right, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Why am I here? Like Himway just had a hard time putting up with Enigma. Now you can see that I think we found the middle ground between no platforms and all the platforms, which is some platforms, and those platforms are also not too large. They don't take up too much of the stage. So I feel like finding a nice middle ground between what both of these players wants for maps and platforms. I think now you can see their movement, their schmovement, and their groovement has definitely stepped up, and they are a lot more careful around each other. Rigundas needed platforms, we have platforms. Himway needs a lot of open space, and we have a decent amount of open space right here. Himway was really, oh, there we go. That second game, we saw a very, very dangerous overcommit from Himway, which costed them the first stock, and that almost happened again, but they were just be able to find their way back on the stage. Himway still trying to get it download. The read is not quite there yet, but in the meantime, while Himway is trying to get the read, Rigundas is going to get a classic stomp Sair.
That's true. Then again, they decided to go for Crystal Temple out of all the other maps. It's one of the most least. I mean, it's the least popular maps, if I should say. No, there are other options. Even if you wanted platforms, you could go for Great Hall. You have a lot of space there, along with and the walls are also thicker there. But Crystal Temple, then again, this might be a personal choice by Himvi, and maybe if he feels that he has an edge in this map.
Henley's orb is also looking unstoppable and kind of reminds us the reason why orb can be entertaining to watch sometimes. A lot of a lot of times people play orb a bit more cautiously and not as fast paced, but Himway is stepping up really stepping on the gas right here, taking his foot off the brakes, putting this orb into full motion. The scythe also coming in handy a little bit.
Yeah, we have one of the viewers saying Himvi really playing runaway against a dude in 100 ping. Come on, dude. This tournament, I mean, there's money at stake. So obviously, I wouldn't blame Himvi if he did, if he did play slightly passively. So, okay, but we have one player, we have one person saying, what do you mean Great Hall is the worst, is the most shit map ever? It's subjective. Again, when you see Crystal, I personally feel Great Hall is better than Crystal Hall. So, yeah. I mean, I would never want to go to Crystal Hall to play any of my tournament games or my ranked games. So trust me.
If we're talking about map discourse, why is it that the most aesthetically pleasing and the most stylized maps always have the least playtime? Stuff like Miami Dome and Crystal Temple, I love those so much. I love the design of them. I don't even care how bad or good they are for my weapons. I just like how they look. But nobody plays them. Nobody picks them in tournaments. Literally nobody. Why? I love them.
That's the state of competitive Brawlhalla right now. The platforms, they mess up your gameplay sometimes. Yeah, with that, Himvi loses out on the 4th game, so we'll be heading on to a game final.
This map can really be make or break, and we actually go back to Brawlhaven, and that served him way. If you remember from, I think it was the third game, Brawlhaven served him way beautifully. It's the second he switched to the Fate, and he was able to, get a grip on this set. That is when this really stepped into motion. That is when Regunda said, oh, I gotta not play around. I gotta actually do this. So this Brawlhaven map should look very familiar for Burgundes, but hopefully this game won't look too familiar with him. Other than that, Himway is really starting to just take with this and run with it, and is already starting. There we go. Some punishes starting to come through. Himway sometimes might not have the read, sometimes not able to. The download isn't always able to connect, but always has the punishes. Always know, okay, you're gonna be here. I'm gonna set up a full combo here.
Oh, with that, he gets a beautiful GCT light into a ground pound to end that stock. Classic Himvi there. Tossing the weapon and immediately going for the GC option. No, it's becoming more popular these days. It has become a classic move here. So Sandstorm was the one who brought that move into the scene. Then eventually, it has become a textbook move now.
It is definitely one of the I think it's the fundamental unarmed knockout. Just like how you have a D-Light recovery on a few weapons and D-Light Sair on a few too.
That's true, but the thing is, following it up after, immediately after the weapon toss, that's something, that's the tech that Sandstorm introduced to all the players in Brawlhalla. So it's something that I would love to remember him for. It might be very subtle, but yes. We got Aussies, yes. Raigundas here is an Aussie. So it's indirectly an SCA versus Auss match here. Yeah, I'm totally secretly not supporting SCA. I'm being unbiased as I cast. What do you mean, just the commentators being pussies? Come on, man. Give us some, cut us some slack here.
Oh, Regunda is with a very, very early stock. a weapon throw able to clash and cancel out all of Himway's recovery options, bringing Himway down to last stock, which is exactly what Rigunda's needed. The stocks were 2-1 with damage completely overlapped. Himway with more than a stock lead, despite what the numbers might tell you. So that quick little KO was exactly what Rigunda's needed to bring the stocks closer, but still, the game is going to be slowed down a bit because Himway could just push Rigunda's to the side over and over again until a Acer will eventually KO, giving him the stat.
W, yes. We'll be moving on to the winners final. Just like that. An easy KO there. No, the fate has been working out for him, so that's what he should stick to. Okay, we have Keith. The next set will be between Keith the Poo and Cocksucker 9000 and Vortex. Yeah.
So this is actually kind of funny because these are both of our first place predictions.
That's right.
Facing off in winter semis. So
no, this is indirectly a casters showdown. Yeah, you see, he's flexing that 1v1 Spring Champion title there, and the other guy 2v2 World Champion. It's all about flexing titles now. Who's got the more shinier title here? Okay, you guys can start. I'll just.
IBC May once champion is also a pretty shiny title.
That's right. We are waiting for IBC finalists sometime. Hopefully, that's on our hopium list. IBC finalist, IBC 2022 champion. Yeah, you get it right. That's what you're hoping for. Okay, we have both of the players have locked their legends. Yeah, you can start. Yep. We are banning the maps now. Hey, yes, it's Cocksucker 9000. Otherwise, no, I don't think I'll call him Keith. He'll be pretty sad if he hears that.
Both of these players using level 40 sword characters, one with bow, one with hammer, on the tried and true fan favorite Mammoth Fortress.
Fan favorite Mammoth Fortress, but then again, see, this map is gonna be removed soon from the active roster, so I'm not sure if it's gonna be fan favorite anymore.
That might make it more fan favorite because then they gotta enjoy it while they can.
That's true. That's true. But then again, most of the people feel that the walls are no. There's something about this map. Not sure. This is a good map for 2v2s, but there was a certain reason why it was hated for once. Not especially hated. It was criticized. If I'm not mistaken, I guess it was the thicker walls. I guess, or rather the bigger. The map is generally big, and knockouts are much late. Yeah, this map was specifically, it used to give an advantage for hammer and axe players. With the Sayers knocking out much earlier compared to other weapons. That was the just I say that. Okay, no, Cocksucker's side 6 doesn't kill him yet. Vortex still on a steady lead here. Another Sayer and it still doesn't do it. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
That does it, yes.
Ooh, Cocksucker able to punish Vortex's approach to maybe try to get a bit of a damage advantage, although it's looking a little bit.
Finally, you called him Cocksucker after hesitating
I just kind of always wanted to do that. I would see him in brackets as that, right. And I would be very amazed. I'm like, you could just do that because nobody does that in other regions.
That's true.
Nobody takes their names as everybody takes their names so seriously. I'm gonna make mine a joke. Nobody does that. That's why I love Keith.
or what's his other name? You just said Keith, not Keith. He's still hesitating, but never mind. I'll not play around with. Not toy around with you anymore. Yeah. Moving on to this game, Vortex is still winning as we see. He's still on a slightly steady lead here. Yeah, BH officials. That's right. That's only in official tournaments, and we don't want to stick. We don't want to play by the book always. We want to have this community tournaments is all about having fun. The player should have fun. Forget the money. It's all about having fun. So that's the thing. So we do not play by the book, and we let these things slide. That's the point of community tournament.
Heath able to bring damage completely even, but Vortex was able to reverse that right now. Vortex was able to find their way back from a ledge guard and is trying to push Keith in a ledge guard of their own. Keith able to get his way back, but already Vortex is starting to work on a KO, a recovery, sends him high, not quite, a hammer weapon throw, lets Keith find his way back, a sword throw to try to make some landing space, doesn't quite work as the sword evaporates, not able to grab it back in time. He trying to go for the ground pound, not quite going for it. Now we have another ledge guard on sword. I can feel like I can see an desig, not quite. A desig comes out from Vortex, however. Sword lets Keith have some landing space. We could be seeing a KO any second now as Keith was able to balance it out. A lot of sword throws, but Keith, through the madness, is able to deal out recovery.
Crazy how Vertex was leading the entire game, and now suddenly the key just stole it away from him. Absolutely. So this should be a wake up call for Vertex here. Should make sure he picks that advantage and he doesn't let it slide. No, we are not saying Keith. We are not saying Keith. Come on. See, I told you right. And also, blank when you said about who says Keith's name was a joke. It's not Keith the Poo Poo. We're talking about Cocksucker 9000, all right? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Keith the Poo Poo. Keith the Poo Poo it's a trademark now. We can't. It's not gonna die. It's forget whatever the official people do, but we are not gonna forget that. He'll always be remembered as Keith the Poo Poo to the SCA folks. But yeah, enough of Keith the Poo Poo. It's more of the Cocksucker 9000 era now.
In the beginning of a dawn of a new era.
That's true. Now we have a different legend pick by Vortex here. Now it's an entirely different weapon roster here. Initially bow and sword, and now moves to gauntlets and sword. Now again, a string based and but it doesn't seem working too well for. Oh no, he managed to make it back on stage with the deftest of touch on the wall there. That's why Gauntlet is. Along with its extremely amazing string potential, you can always make it back on stage really well with the Gauntlets here.
And also thanks to Petra's damage that lets Vortex really come back from that deficiency that they were in and is able to still get a bit of a lead. But we saw from last game, this Bodvar is able to come back from that very quickly. Blink and you miss it. A stock is gone. And what did I say? Stocks 2 white to 2 white. The character pick from Vortex is very interesting. Petra's a very good character. We saw some orb come in a little bit earlier as him was able to demonstrate the what really an expertise on orb looks like. But that gauntlet, yeah, gauntlet's widely being considered the best weapon in the game. It's kind of hard to argue with that.
It's debatable at the very least. Best weapon. Most people who main gauntlets, they'll still cry about it, saying gauntlets is still bad. Hammer is better, axe is better, lance. It's always these three, but people still stick to gauntlet for some reason. It's because of the extreme string potential, and you can just get a knockout from. There are like multiple knockout options. You can get it from a D light, you can get it from a side light, or from a Sair and then into a recovery, or a ground pound into a recovery. See, he just did a ground pound into a recovery now. That's the thing. Even though it's yeah, I will agree with you if it is considered as one of the best weapons in the game, but then again, It's not an easy weapon to master. It's not as easy as axe or hammer at the very least. But so far, it's looking good for Vertex here. He's still in the lead, so it's not like the previous game uh, where he managed to just throw it away after leading for a very comfortable time. He is in a damage lead here on the final stop, which is a good sign for Vertex here. And Gauntless has an extremely good weapon toss combos as well, The weapon toss into the end light or the side light. It just catches people quickly, and side light is, I don't know, hits you everywhere. I mean, not per se, but on the ground as well as in the air. It's hard to punish as well.
But another thing about weapon throws, both of these players are very ready for weapon throws. We can saw a few times that sometimes when another player was almost got knocked out, there we go, just like we're seeing right now, has to try to find a way back to stage, has to recover, find some landing space. They throw the weapon down to make that space, but the other player is ready for that and able to guard that weapon and making sure that if you do come back, you are not getting this weapon. You got to fight me unarmed or just don't recover at all. So weapon throws, although they can be a decent way to try and approach because, they're able to keep you at range while still being able to do some damage.
Again, Keith manages to steal this one right off of Vortex's nose here. So this is getting bad for Vortex. Every match they're going to the last stock at red health, and Keith is just managing to clutch it. No, Keith. Oh, shoot! I just said Keith. Coxhacker 9000 managed to clutch it. Yes. No, has been. It's the options are working out for him. Whether it's I'm sorry, yeah, the options are just working out for him. Whether whether it's a side swing or a whatever it may be. Okay, I won't hurt your feelings anymore. All right, I won't hurt your feelings anymore. We head on to game number 3 now. This time, Vortex has decided to change his drip, but I don't know how effective that will be. It's more of a mental game here rather than a drip game. He has been unable to clutch in those dire moments. So that's what he'll be looking to. That's what he'll be looking forward to in this game. But this is potentially the last game for Cocksucker here. If he manages to clutch this, he'll be heading on to winners final and he'll be joining Himby there. He just wants it's a better option for Cocksucker 9000 to finish this off quickly and go to the top 3 as quick as possible. So it's not good to delay.
Yeah, whoever wins winners semis, once that places you in winners finals, you are guaranteed top 3 because even if you lose the rest of the next 2 sets, that means that you are out at losers finals, which is still 3rd place. So whoever wins this is definitely in a very, 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 very good spot, as Vortex is trying to put themselves in a very good spot right now. You can see stocks 3-2. Although Cocksucker is able to get that KO and bounce out stocks, they are still at KO color. So all it needs is just one quick end sig to make the stocks very uneven. But we've seen this before. Don't take your eyes off of this quite snazzy little Bodvar right here. I love that little suit on him. As we've seen these leads get stolen right out under from Vortex before, so Vortex might try to slow down the game a little bit and say like, usually you just speed up the game, you take it right from under. Nah, I try to play a little bit. I'm gonna come back on my back foot a little bit more. I'm gonna try to slow this down and make sure that whatever happens is in my control. Usually when the game is slowing down, it's in the favor of the person who's losing. But right now, it's actually in the favor of the person who's winning because they're trying to prevent a potential reversal and turnaround.
Now, yeah, fair point there. This time, Vortex has corrected some things here. He is in a stock lead here. He's not taking it down to the wire, so that's what's helping him here. He has managed to get the reads, land all those moves perfectly in the first 2 stocks, and bring Keith down to the last stock. He doesn't want to give Keith that another chance. Keith's gonna steal it from him again. He doesn't want to do that. So this is looking good for Vortex here. Potentially we'll head on to a game number 4. Maybe then a game number 5 if Vortex manages to crack the code there. And then who knows, it might be a reverse 3-0 in just a matter of minutes. But just I say that, yeah, Vortex has managed to take game number 3 against Cocksucker, and we'll be heading on to a game number 4. And this time he has brought out Garnet.
Oh, now we're just flexing.
Yeah, okay, now he's just showcasing his skin collection. Yep.
He's got a whole gallery. As we're waiting for our maps, we didn't really think too much of the maps because all of that was on
No, I'll not
Mammoth
say.
Fortress. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been seeing Mammoth Fortress mostly. Even I would prefer Demon Island as well. But okay, this time we see a change of maps. We are heading on to Apocalypse. It's where everything. It's where everything. It's that map of Ultimatum or the final battle.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Oh, Vortex starts off with an extremely brazen GC side heavy there. He's lucky that he managed to go unpunished. He gets the
Yeah.
But he has been maintaining excellent weapon control as well, even with the orb and gauntlets. Oh, we have Ansub saying, "Weezy, no way you lost to Elsum." No, we see trash talk in the voice in the Twitch chat here. No, it's very encouraging.
I feel like part of Vortex's plan is to start off with a good lead and then play defensive, because usually when you start off with a good lead, you might try to expand that, but then you're putting yourself in harm's way. So I feel like just by playing a little bit more defensively, that's letting Vortex have a little bit more time to keep the lead rather than have more risks to lose it. But right now is at a huge risk to lose it as the recovery almost hits. Keith finding his way back on stage right now. A little bit of footsies will determine who's able to get a bit of a lead, as right now both players are in KO color. Sarah will send Vortex off stage, and as he's recovering, a weapon throw will send him down to second stock.
That's right. Yeah, you did mention about how he's playing more defensively now. That's the thing. Vortex was he was being aggressive on his in the first two games. That's what cost him both of those games where he was supposed to win. Now maybe now he has he has finally found the answer to Keith's Hammer Marvel here. No, Cocksucker's Hammer Marvel here. Yeah. VZ versus Elsum stream the match. Oh, that match is over. I don't think I can stream. Sorry. Was it in top 32? Was it right before top 32 if I do recall?
Right now, with the choice of gauntlets, Vortex very skillfully throwing orb and keeps choosing to position the side sig upwards, really trying to go for upwards KOs as opposed to side or even downward KOs. Gauntlet is huge. How did that uppercut hit? That GC unarmed up heavy just hit grounded, but that Sair will send Keith down to last stock, and Vortex starting to touch onto red, maybe sometime KO color soon, and it ends up being a very nice, just like we talked about a little. Yeah, D-like ground pound coming out from Keith, going to make this game completely even, which is good if you're Keith, but not good if you're Vortex. So Vortex really needs to try to win this game to bring this to a game 5, go 2-2, or Cocksucker could very easily 3-1 this, depending on how.
You're switching between Cocksucker and Keith so quickly, and that it's honestly amusing.
Yeah, we're both switching. I don't really.
That's
know
true. That's true. Yeah. We'll just stick to both of them. It's the same person essentially.
Yeah.
But with that, Cocksucker is in a terrible lead. I mean, it's in a fantastic lead here. No, just a few seconds ago, Vortex was in. He was dominating him. He was about to take the game, but Cocksucker just managed to steal it right back again from him. I guess it's that aggression again that's costing Vortex here. Now, what do we mean? Do they look alike? Come on, it's more about maintaining a PG.
Now, when I was just starting to learn how Brawlhalla works, the people who were teaching me told me that it's less about hitting the other person and more about not getting hit. So that is where that really comes to play, as Vortex is able to not get hit and land himself a Game 5 just to stay alive in winner's bracket. Heath with what could be a very different pick, but something that should be a little bit more familiar on the Rayman. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not what Keith used to win that spring championship title underneath his name right there?
That's right. That's right. That's his victory pick, or that's his it's his emergency button, if you get, and that's his emergency drip as well. So yeah, he's going back to the spring drip.
It's also an underrated skin. It's such a good skin. Everybody who plays Rayman doesn't
Rayman doesn't have
really
a lot
use
of
that
good
skin.
skins in the first place, and this is one of the better ones, if I should say.
Yeah, everybody sticks with default stock Rayman and just doesn't buy skins for him. But there's a good skin. This is a good skin. This is an underrated skin. Nobody uses this.
No, but the color scheme though, I'm actually surprised by his cocksucker's taste here. Yeah, we have people in the chat saying default Rayman is clearly the best Rayman skin. Yeah, graffiti, just as you just, I mean, you have spoken whatever graffiti just said. So yeah, we're heading on to a game number 5 now. Cocksucker 9000 and Vortex.
Cocksucker easily able to pick up Axe, but Vortex not too far behind with Orb. Both of these players having gauntlets, so whether or not they're going to be able to both pick up gauntlets and fight each other, fist to fist, is going to be very entertaining to watch. But right now they are both off gauntlets. Who's able to get the first few hits right now? They're both playing very carefully. Turns out Vortex wants to switch on gauntlets. We're going to have to see how Cocksucker chooses to ride this, if he really wants to have gauntlets or if he wants to have Axe. The choice of weapons will really come into play right here. I don't think that he's going to want to have to play gauntlets into gauntlets, so maybe he might just, have to be okay with sticking on the Axe for now. But we have a fresh weapon there. Whether or not he switches really could be the make or break. There we go. Vortex finally starting to get some reads in a weapon, though, to punish Cocksucker for trying to pick up a new pair of gauntlets. There we go. We finally have the gauntlets into gauntlets, and after all is said and done, we are on sudden death of the first stock. As right now, Vortex needs to try to grab this weapon. Cocksucker denying it, dodges out of the Axe weapon throw. Keith doing a very good job of trying to make sure that Vortex has as little landing space as possible. You can see him jump up to try to punish the high recovery. A GC N-Light along into a weapon throw will keep pushing Vortex off stage.
Still, it doesn't kill him. It still doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
Vortex is living on the edge here.
Both these players having a very hard time for the KO, but an Orb dare against the stage.
Yeah, it was off stage after all, so Vortex definitely had the advantage over there. He was on the less dangerous side of the stage, and yeah, he got the knockout. A clean Orb dare to take off Cocksucker's first stock. But just as I say that, Cocksucker has managed to bring down Vortex to his second stock. And we immediately see Vortex, get equipped with the orb. Both the players, trying to engage each other. But Vortex has been winning a lot of these neutral duels, though. Cocksucker is more about, parry and punish. But Vortex has been performing extremely well in the neutral game as well. That's what is, that's the thing that is keeping him above Cocksucker here. Okay. Ronaldo is Spanish, alright? Please, leave me alone. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just done with you, dude. Seriously, I don't even know who you are. I don't know what you're trying to do here, but yo, we have Snipe Socks in the chat. Snipe Socks from NA. Graffiti, he's your boy.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah. See, even he's surprised about the. Yeah, that's the thing. He's also surprised about Cocksucker 9000. You were right about how people in NA don't really keep such sort of troll names. Okay, I wouldn't call it troll names, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe not troll, but at least funny. Names you can look at and say, like, that's a person with a sense of humor. Like, I kind of miss that. I like that a lot of other regions, have that. They have names that are like, I'm gonna do this because it's funny. One thing that's not as funny is Vortex claiming the reverse 3-0 even after Cocksucker switches to that main on Rayman.
That tells the story. Vertex lost the first two games. He was playing. He was approaching aggressively, even though he was in a stable position. Even though he's in a stable lead, and in the end, he always threw the game away to Cocksucker. But the last three games, he just corrected all those mistakes. And yeah, that gives him the dub, and he'll be moving on to winners final, where we'll be facing Himby. With that, we are done with the winner side of top 8 here. We'll be moving on to the lower bracket, and then we'll come back to the winners final once we are done with the losers quarterfinals.
So, if you are following at home in the bracket for top 8 elimination, we have Jerry K going to fight Elsam. Elsam, I'm pretty sure, being another Australian. We have in this top 8, and also right underneath that in the other top 8 elimination, we have Laz versus Arrow, which I think should be the one we'll be going to next if I am not mistaken.
The
And
thing
then,
is-
of course,
Yeah, I'll just display the brackets once. So, as you can see, we'll be streaming the losers quarterfinal. That is the winner of Jerry and Elsam and Laz and Ero. But we'll just join their room and see what's going on. That's yeah. That would be. Oh, I've been banned. What? Okay. Seven.
so
We have
yeah,
Jerry versus Elsam here.
yet another matchup between two different regions between Australia and Southeast Asia. As we have right now, Elsam choosing to stick on that Fate. And this also just proves another thing that Scythe, being a very popular weapon, a lot of people are saying that is good, but it also ends up being that orb that takes that KO. Elsam also now choosing to stick on Scythe. Jerry K gonna have to try to make work with Spear. With here, this region is full of skins that not a lot of people give enough love to, as Jerry K is able to balance out stocks without taking a single hit of damage. So being able to perfectly neutralize stocks, we are basically at a fresh game, just 2 stocks instead of 3 on Demon Island right now. Jerry K doing some quite nice work on this Spear, really needs to try to do a little bit more, try to stop the momentum, because although the game is even, a lot of the momentum is in Elsam's favor right now. They're just trying to speed up the game, make sure that Jerry K has a little time to think as possible. You can already see all the N-Lights and D-Lights coming out, pushing Jerry K into a defensive and a bit of an uneasy position. And weapon throw combo into, how does he do this?
That's true. Yeah, we have someone from the chat saying BMG about to reduce SEA price pool after Sire goes 0-2. Yeah, that's a 10 on 10 comment right there. Yeah, I know. I mean, pros bleed sometimes, so you gotta cut some slack for them. It's not like they'll be having a terrible day or maybe some internet issues. So
Elsam, being able to guard the weapon, is able to pick up Scythe, but not before Jerry K is able to get a few hits in there, and that also lets them balance out the stocks, but not before Elsam is able to take another KO. And still planting him quite nicely in the lead. Jerry K really needs to try to find a way back. It was actually Spear that really let him oh, it's very hard to say anything when Elsam's Scythe is just throwing him around, but there we go. Jerry K finally able to get that KO. But yeah, Jerry K really needs Spear, but actually, maybe not. I could be wrong. Is just trying to weapon starve and chooses to stick with Sword right now, but a ground pound will make it very difficult for him to come back. Elsam, in phenomenal fashion, goes up 1-0.
Easy dubs for Elsum here, is it? Is this a statement that OS is better than CA? Is this an indirect statement by Elsum there? No, yesterday, Elsum and Dragonders were playing against each other, were playing with, were playing together in the 2v2 tournament, and yeah, they managed to put on quite a show, even though they were, I mean, they had ping issues, I understand, but they put on a spectacular show yesterday. Now, it serves to say that ping doesn't really matter much. It's all about what you can. It's all about the reads and your skills on that particular day.
Jerry K with a character swap. Elsum still sticking on that fate. But yeah, we still have that spear, which was working beautiful last game for him. But we're sticking, we're still going to go for gauntlets as opposed to sword. The sword was looking all right. They were able to do a little bit of work with sword, but it definitely cost them a little bit that maybe gauntlets will be able to more than enough make up for, as within the first few opening engagements, they are actually able to go into full throttle play, sticking a bit of an offensive and actually try to, really show it to Elsum, saying like, okay, you put me in a defensive situation, you try to out-pressure me, now I'm out-pressure you, and I'm going to really pick up the pace, and I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine. Those gauntlets really coming out to play against Elsum's orb. Elsum choosing not to play much Scythe either. It's really that orb that is doing Elsum the most work. So to really stand up to this, like in this fashion, is incredible, as Jerry K, not even KO Color himself, is able to take Elsum down 2 seconds stock, 50 seconds in. Both of these players' approach is going to be pretty different to each other, because Jerry K is just trying to build up more damage, so we're going to see a lot more combos, maybe some 4 hits, some 3 hits. We're going to see some a lot of delates come out from Jerry K, but we're also probably going to be seeing some KO options come out from Elsum. We're going to see maybe some combo starters. They're both trying to start some strings, but for very different reasons. One just trying to build up damage and get a further and further lead, and is able to be successful, as, oh my god, a minute and a half in, Jerry K is up 3 red to white 1. Elsum has a lot of work to do to come back from this, although with the small walls on Mammoth Fortress, is able to get a swift little dare, evening out the stocks, although this is a very scary situation for this fate to be in. Goldforged, I forget what the name is going to be, but the Goldforged, Scholar, Lord, Master, Fate, very drip, looking very nice, but it's not really holding up as well to this Po Wushang crossover that Jerry K is throwing at him. Although this scythe, maybe the orb wasn't it. Maybe it's the scythe that Elsum really needs. We could be seeing a reverse 3-0 on the scythe alone. We saw a reverse 3-0 in the set earlier. We could be seeing a reverse 3-stock. It's kind of always hard to count it out. You can't really say you've seen everything, because just like that, the spear ground pound into weapon throw. Never seen that.
That's right. If I should quote Boomy here, Matt Poe you. The Poe is doing work here. Yeah, with that we'll be. Jerry takes the second game, and this is not yet over. The Poe is like your.
As we have Elsum switching over to the Bodvar to try and combat Jerry K's Wushang. With no common weapons. We did actually talk a little bit about how Bodvar and Fate, sometimes they come off as similar weapons. A good all-around, basic, not very gimmicky weapon, sword and orb, into a bit more of a powerful, bit more of a well-loved, maybe a bit more gimmicky, and take some training to really learn, that being Scythe and Hammer. So they're pretty, fairly similar character like types, but they're still pretty different characters, very different. Those weapons carry very different advantages, and also just very different signatures, very different stats. They feel like very different characters because they're different characters. Poe is still wasting no time to bring bring Bodvar down into KO color, but Elsum is able to get a little response and try to bring Jerry K a bit closer into that orange, but not before that side sig. Jerry K doesn't throw out that side sig that much, but when he
Yeah.
does, it hits.
That's true. It's about all Wushang mains here. The side sig it has a lot of active frames, highly punishable, so it's not your best option. But Jerry K has made it work. He has made it work. So you can't. It's just absolutely perfect. The perfect move at the perfect time, and it lands and it hits. Yeah, props to Jerry K there. And he is not stopping. See, he's not. Elsum is struggling to take out Jerry's. Oh, just I say that. Jerry K is off. Caster's curse, but yes, he has taken a significant lead here in the second stock.
This game is looking much better than the last game, which is a huge sign for improvement. We do have that spear coming out from Jerry K, which is looking quite scary all games around, especially with that little that I think double throw combo that Jerry K was able to hit in that first game on Demon Island. That was really something special to watch, and I don't know if we'll be seeing that again, but we'll be seeing a D-Light Sair to take Elsum down to last stock right now, and that's probably a world record for shortest amount of time it takes to respawn and then get a clash. That clash was instant, on site.
And
Jerry
he doesn't
K
stop
completely
there, yeah.
throwing.
Goes for the end sig, side sig, everything is hitting. But yeah, he ends
Oh
it
my
with the classic
God.
gauntlet ground pound there. A perfect game for Jerry here.
Especially that last stock. That last stock might have actually been perfect, completely throwing Elsum around. I think Elsum did not even do more than 10 damage. We have the Assert, so the sword was alright, but maybe not much the hammer, as Elsum actually left Brawlhaven open, full knowing well that Jerry can just take them right back there for what he's hoping is a repeat of those last two games. But with this character swap, Elsum was throwing quite a few different changes at Jerry K to really make sure, keep him on his toes, pull a switcheroo like, oh, I'm gonna go here, didn't think I was gonna go here. I was really trying to throw little switcheroos on a Jerry K, but he is not phased at all. These Gold Forge gauntlets, just able to punch anything in their way. Never shaken, never stirred.
But here we see Elsum starting off really well, even though it's the same sword. He was playing Bodvar in the previous game, which is also a character that has sword. It looks better this game. Maybe is it a different legend pick that has worked out for him so far? I don't know. Is it the mental game? But he is doing better this game so far. Oh yeah,
Definitely
just I say
doing
that he gets the
way
first up.
better.
That's right, way better, yeah.
Yeah, Jerry K, this is a very different position for him to be in. Usually he's the one taking these huge leads at the beginning of the game and just riding the rest of it out. But right now, Jerry K really needs to try to switch a little bit more to defensive foot and maybe try to balance out the lead. Elsum, just like we said, bringing a lot of changing variables into the game, making sure that Jerry K is always on his toes, that nothing is really ever the same. You can never really get used to something, and it is working. This Assert is looking quite well. We finally have those Katar, something that is not in common with the Bodvar, but is able to Jerry K is able to swiftly get the KO and actually balance out the game quite nicely. Slight damage advantage in favor of Elsum, but still these Katars, we're gonna have to wait and see how well they work, because we know the sword works well. We've seen the Bodvar, we've seen this Asuri. That sword works pretty dang well. As last game, it didn't go as bad as the one before. In this game is going much better, and it is looking very even, giving Elsum a very living chance right now, as they're at they could be going out of capacity to take this second stock off from Jerry K.
But it's an even game here. Both the players are trading blows evenly here. One guy goes for a D-light recovery and the other guy goes for a D-light ground pound on sword. Oh yeah, that should be punished. Yeah, that should be GG for Jerry. He took the gamble there, charged the D-sig, but he ends up getting punished. A gamble that failed.
To give
But then again-
Jerry K a little bit of credit, I think that was the first time that he threw out a SIG and got punished for it. Every time he threw out a SIG, it would either be far enough to not be punished or just hit directly.
Yep. Then again, Spear has a good matchup against Katars, and that's, we can see that it's working out well for. Whenever Elsam takes Katars, I feel like Jerry should just switch to the Spears, and play a bit more ranged.
But then the mental game comes in even more because if one of the players knows, okay, you're probably going to want this weapon, I can just weapon starve you. I made the game a lot easier for myself. So, yeah, it is so much mental game. This is coming from somebody who overthinks everything. I overthink everything. I'm bad at this game.
No, we are all bad. So, trust me, I face the same issue as well. So, I'm with this. I'm with you on this. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it was
that's-
not bad.
that's game
Elsam
over,
for
yeah.
being able to take his game back. As that puts at does that put us at another game 5?
That's right. Yes, it's another game 5. It's been the first game I think was taken by Elsam. Then Jerry took 2 games. Then yeah, and Elsam has found the answer for Jerry's Poe here.
How funny would it be if Elsam and Ragundas, 2 Australian players, would fight in a Southeast Asian tournament? How funny would that be?
Yep.
And now, how interesting is this Jerry K choosing to go back to the character that he originally lost pretty bad on, but now as a counter to a new character that Elsam throwing in their way with a new map. Yeah, we got a lot of changing stuff. However, it is more changing in the favor of Jerry K because they had a better. If you lose a game, you have a little bit more control over what map actually gets selected in the next game. So this map is a little bit more in Jerry K's favor than Elsam's, and also with a completely new character. Usually, we said it's Elsam trying to throw the switcheroos, the little, turn the card over, not what you expected it to be. Oh, but now it's actually Jerry K doing a lot of, shifting, trying to shift a lot of the factors to try to catch Elsam off surprise. That ground pound catching him by surprise, but not Jerry K, still unfazed, able to dodge through it. We have some very, very tense play happening on stage right now. Elsam not quite the read just yet. Those guitar reads are fatal, but it ends up being a Delight Sair that lets Elsam get in yet another ledge guard, and with that is able to take the stock because he's able to gain stage control, word of the day. Little bit more important in 2s than 1s, but is still all the more welcome in 1s because that means you control the game as these guitars finally coming out from Elsam. Although, just as we say that, these guitars, if guitars is what Elsam wants to play on, it is not a lucky day. Every time that he's able to pick them up, it is always less for a minute.
That's right. He isn't immediately switching onto the sword, or he's getting he's getting knocked out, or it's just not. But the previous game against Poe, it did work out well. Whenever Jerry played Gauntlets, it was a good matchup. Things worked out well, but not in this game. No, it's sword against Katars, and you don't want to play that. So that's why Elsam has switched back to sword here. He doesn't want to go sword against Katars here. That's a terrible matchup for Qatar players. And then again, we see Jerry now playing slightly defensively here. He's not been able to get all the hits here. Chipping in damage slowly but surely. But that's not enough for a knockout. Goes for a nair, trying to look for the knockout here. He's looking for the recovery here, or a delight. Manages to throw in the Sair there. Then again, it's the sword neutral that Elsam is always winning against Jerry here. That's what's putting Jerry ahead. That's what putting Elsam ahead of the game. But this time he has picked Katars. Let's see how long he. Okay, now he tosses it again and he loses it. You were right about that. he is definitely having an unlucky day when it comes to equipping Qatars. With that, Jerry is on his last stock, potentially his tournament stock. So if Jerry loses it, it's over. The tournament run is over for Jerry.
Yeah, last set there was always going to be at least one of us that was right when it was when it was when it was Vortex versus Keith, but now there's a good chance of both of us being wrong for this since we both put Jerry K in our predictions. So Elsum could just really put us in our place and prove us that you should have put me in those predictions as Jerry K is having a hard time removing this second stock from Elsum, knowing what's at stake. And yes, since this is tournament, this is losers bracket. Earlier in winners bracket, if you drop the set, you're like, that wasn't my best playing. You have that losers bracket as a safety net, but this is that safety net. Once you fall out of that, you are out. So Jerry K knows the way of the situation, starting to get closer and closer to KO color on that last stock in a game 5. The pressure hopefully won't get to his shoulders too much because it's a very real thing. Pressure and stress is a very real thing, and it looks like he's actually not letting him get to it all as the game is slowly becoming more and more even. What could be a miraculous comeback or what could be just an insane tournament run for Elsum so far. You can see Elsum is already first to KOs,
It's
trying to get
coming to
his
an end,
early
and
and
both the players are
possible.
desperately trying for Sair here, Sword Sairs. That's what you're seeing, right?
We see some recoveries, we see some Sairs, definitely. It's very hard to tell what it might be.
Weapon tosses, yeah. That was missing, yes. Okay, and there. I haven't seen an Enlight though, yeah. Okay, he whiffs the Enlight, but he doesn't get the knockout. But yeah, the recovery does it. And that's game for Elsum, and he'll be moving on. And
Yeah, and that means that both of our predictions were wrong, and it is honestly
right.
kind of hilarious. We have Ragundas and Elsum fighting off each other in this television tournament.
So one
It's
Australian
something
will
that
be, yeah.
yeah, when I woke up today, that's not something that I was thinking. I was like Jerry K, Vortex, Sire. I was ready to see my favorites, but Ragundas and Elsum surprising us all with so far what is a phenomenal tournament run. But right now, both of them have the power to send the other one. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. That is later. Right now, we're going to.
Graffiti, the room code, check the room code. We are heading on to a new room.
All right.
Join the new lobby. Yeah. Tiger is gonna play in Laz account, yeah.
So, Laz and Arrow, we just watched Jerry K versus Elsum for top 8 elimination, and the other top 8 elimination game was Laz versus Arrow, and that happened off stream. That was another game 5 that went in the favor of Laz, who was going to fight Keith the Poo Poo in losers quarterfinals. As right now, we're just waiting for. We have Keith, and we have Laz.
Just a minute, just a minute. And now Ansab will be taking over and he'll be casting for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, Ansab, just increase your volume. Yeah, good to
Alright,
go.
looking like that is on the Koji now. Sticking to what he always plays and keep on the same legend as last match of Rayman. It looks like we're going on small mammoth fortress here. Gonna be a big map, plenty of space.
Three, two, one, brawl!
So as both these players trying to fight a little bit of weapon, Keith is able to pick it up first. However, Laz not too far behind with bow. So the bow versus axe matchup is going to be pretty interesting right here on Mammoth Fortress, just like our good friend said.
Oh, getting fancy here. The end line. Sayer. Laz takes it back into recovery. Keith really is taking advantage of Axe here.
Both of these players starting to dip into KO color. Favor a little bit more in Keith's favor, but still, it would be very, very easy for Laz just get a little bit more damage, bring this closer and closer. Desig just to reposition, get a little bit farther away from Keith's recovery, making sure that, all right, I'm not even going to try to, I'm not even going to try. You make your way back to the stage. I'm not even going to try to ledge guard. Sometimes that's smart. Ledge guards are a very good thing to master, but sometimes part of knowing. What?
Because gravity cancels down like recovery. True combo. This player is really getting all those same perfect combos. Jesus! Keith is really going at it here. With the weapon throw combos. Laz needs to finish off Keith's stock here before Keith can advance his Downlight Sarah doesn't finish it.
Keith having to dodge two different weapon throws, somehow able to make his way back on stage. You can see how far the Endlight sends from the other side of the stage, mind you, got a KO. So Laz is really looking for the KO right.
Takes it out.
Bottom of the screen sends Keith staying alive for a very long amount of time. Laz needs to try to find his way through that.
Both players really respecting each other here. Side stick connects. Ground pound, tries it. Recovery, double recovery. And Sig misses.
Both of these players' approaches to each other are going to be very different. Keith just looking to get the KO, so he's going to be looking for a lot of D-light and a lot of side-light combo starters. However, Laz is looking to build up a little bit more damage, and especially starting to come down on this last stock. Laz, both of these now, mindset going into each other's probably going to be pretty similar, as they're both just trying to build damage. However, the damage build-up phase is going to be a little bit shorter for Laz than it will be for Keith, because Keith is already starting to touch down on orange, what is soon to be, not quite yet, but that orange quickly turns into red with a little bit of chip and punish. So if some chip damage is able to come through for this samurai right here, Keith is already starting to work on an overlap, though. It's looking a little scary for Laz right now.
Keith is really confident in winning. Gravity cancel one-arm side signature takes it out. Laz loses the first match. Both players sticking with the same pick.
As we end up going to small enigma. So definitely going from not many platforms to 3 platforms, especially also with a stage that changes a lot. So this is a very, very different map. Hopefully Laz is able to fare a little bit better. Maybe all these platforms and all this, the movement that the stage does will go in Laz's favor, or if Keith is just able to, not let the map change, or no, you do have to change how you play according to the map, just a little bit, just a tiny amount, but yeah, hopefully Keith is also able to keep up that momentum, as right now it becomes the starting, it's still a little bit of an opening dance, it's still a little bit of, a how do you do a handshake, it is still a little bit slower, which is actually pretty good, because one thing we said earlier, if a game is slowing down, it's usually in the favor of the person who has less momentum, or the person who's losing, because that means they can back up, they can say, all right, give myself a little bit more breathing room, a little bit more space to work this, and work through as
Recovery does not quite take it out. Side sig does not connect.
Yeah, Keith is starting to get a little hungry for this KO right here.
No. Keith takes the first thought. Really trying to extend the sort of the stock. Like doesn't quite take it out.
Keith had a little bit of trouble building up the damage earlier, so hopefully Laz is able to take advantage of that, of the slowed down game and get the KO. But once Laz falls into KO color, we saw that earlier, that Keith starts getting really trigger happy with these signatures, just left, right, down, sig, end, sig, down. I was, we started to count a lot of signatures coming out from this rain. So, yeah, you don't want to be around, you don't want to be close to this man, and we just start swinging.
Finally takes out the stock. Down like cider.
Yeah, Laz really needs to be a little bit more efficient with these KOs, because if Laz is able to take Keith down down a level just a little bit earlier, then that would mean the world for their performance right now, and is able to somehow come back on stage against all of this ice ground pound, but still Keith just really able to close it out. No, cheese dodge not quite able there.
Lead right. He doesn't look like he's looking.
Keith is really just starting to haul his way, try to make it to losers semis right now against a very, very tough match against Laz, and trying to make it as easy for him as possible. This lead, oh, both off stage. We saw how this ended, but a ground pound punish. Laz able to stay alive. That's something that we talked about earlier. Keith was really excited, really trigger happy for the signatures. Like, I gotta use the signature again. Say no more. It's my lucky day. So Laz is starting to catch on to that, starting to get some more punishes. So what would have been, a threat, just like we said, you don't want to be close to this man when you start swinging, might have actually started to be a bit of a downfall.
I was really playing the safe, approaching the button. No, recovery takes it out. Keith the poo-poo takes. Keith takes one more set.
Yeah, Laz needs to try and find that last resort, since this is it. This is the last chance. Laz, just to make it a little bit farther, needs to pull a reverse 3-0 sweep against Keith the Poo Poo himself on a Mordex, mind you.
This was his spring pick.
Yeah, Keith having a lot of expertise on this gauntlets.
See what his side can bring up. GC side sig to finish. Keith really confident with his arm here.
Scythe already coming out, so if this is something that we were excited to see, we are right now, and it's also starting to work quite fast. Keith already just throwing out a lot of attacks. That's something that Keith likes to do. He likes to cover his his area, his surrounding area with attacks, and just make it as hard as possible to approach him. And you can't really. It's a little hard to offense him. You really have to be very careful about how you approach him, as Laz is still being very careful and is still at a slight damage deficiency, but nothing that a quick ground pound into dare. Oh my god, Laz.
Laz just stole that song. Oh no.
Laz didn't just steal that, he like robbed that. No. Laz did not just steal that, Laz robbed that and now has 2 stars like in GTA.
Cider, finish it all. Last minute damage.
Both of these.
That's something Cider really can do well.
Both of these. Both of these players
Oh.
being very careful of each other's space, and ends up being Keith able to take Laz down to what could be, actually what is tournament stock, both these players. That's one thing that we talked a little bit about earlier, being able to respect another player's space, being like, I know you're a threat, so I'm going to be very careful around you. Both these, a little bit of a chip and punish, a little bit of like a, but Keith actually just pushing the full throw the GCD light to continue the combo, able to put Laz closer and closer to KO color. Although Laz maybe about to get a KO of his own.
Last be able to clutch this, but I don't think so. He's really confident here with his armor side. The ground pound finishes it off.
Oh,
Takes
One win.
3-0.
a 3-0 indeed. And that was losers quarterfinals. The other losers quarterfinal match was Rigundes versus Elsum, which actually ended in a 3-0 in favor of Rigundes, who is waiting in losers semifinals with Keith the Poo Poo right now. We have Himwe in the lobby, and we are just waiting on Vortex. And I think, yeah, we have Vortex right here. So we are going on to the final.
Yeah, we'll head on to winners final now. Winner of this goes to grand final. Yeah, confirm top 2 spot. Lot of money at stake here. So now, what about your picks? Do you think Vertex will go all the way or Himbe? I think I remember you did say Vertex and I did say no. You said Vertex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vertex has been looking clean so far.
Yeah, Vortex looking really clean. I'm keeping an eye out for him. And right now, just like we talked about, both of these players have a really good are just in a good spot already, regardless if they win or lose this, because both these players are guaranteed top 3, which is pretty nice pretty nice prize pool money, as we flexed a little bit in the beginning. So both these players are in quite nice spots, but they are currently chasing for an even better spot, a shot at grand finals from the winner's side, mind you, which you want to be in winner's side because of the bracket reset, which we will get a little bit into later. So both of these players are ready. We are just waiting to give them the go for when we are ready, and we're just still setting some stuff up.
Yeah, we are done. You can start. The game can be started. I'll just tell them.
Oh. So we have Himley on the Yumiko, actually, going into Vortex's Petra. We have a character who is quite popular. You see Petra
Yeah,
a
Yumiko's
decent
best. Yeah.
versus Yumiko, a character that really not a lot of people pay attention to.
That's a fair point there. Yumiko is not specifically chosen in most of the pro rosters. It's always gauntlets. Even though Yumiko does have hammer and bow, both of which are extremely feared, surprisingly Yumiko isn't picked much. The pick rate is extremely low, even among the pros themselves.
Might be because of the SIGs, and that's also probably why Arcadia is not used as much. I mean, she has good stats. If anything, I feel like a lot of people would probably tell you that like Petra's stats they like Yumiko's stats a little bit better than Petra's, unless I'm just making that up. It really just is about the SIG. Petra has her SIGs are a lot more rewarding. With Yumiko SIGs, you have to work with them. They can be rewarding. You can see him trying to throw out that D SIG, trying to cover as much space as possible. That side SIG also covering a decent amount of space, letting them recover back to stage. But you can already see that D SIG or that D SIG and that side SIG coming out from Vortex is just it covers so much more space. Petra's SIGs people just
Yeah.
like them more. They're way more rewarding. You have to work with Yumiko SIGs. You have to be like, all right, come on, you gotta work with me. You gotta work with me. But Petra SIGs just click and you're done. They are so much more rewarding.
And just like that, he takes off the first stock quite easily. Doesn't even break a sweat. See, he's not even. He has taken a couple of hits. That's it. The Phantom of Far is controlling Vortex. Yeah, definitely Far has to be remembered. No, his Petra was absolutely. That was mind-boggling and extremely scary to face against. He defined the orb meta in SEA. I mean, how often do you see people playing orb even in high elo in SEA? It's extremely low, but that's the thing. Yes. Shoutouts to Far. He's not playing the game now, but yeah, huge shoutouts to Far.
You can also already see start to see Vortex being very, very mindful of these Yumiko SIGs, knowing exactly which space around Himwe to avoid
Him be
Himwe
representing
finally.
Tiger. But is he representing Sire as well? He's playing Hammer too, right? Yeah, him be representing Kirigos. Yes, that's the best answer you could have given. Yes, he is representing Kirigos. Yes, that's the perfect answer. Taxation with his usual 10 on 10 comments. That's why he's popular on Twitter. But yeah, yesterday his popularity on Twitter didn't help him win the game in 2v2, but he's still a Twitter warrior, and we are gonna respect him for that.
One of the things that's really giving Vortex a bit of an upper hand, at least in that game, and I think we'll be seeing a character switch from Himwe for the same reason. Vortex knew exactly what spaces around the Yumiko to avoid, knowing that Himwe was going to throw out a lot of those D-Sigs, like, alright, Hammer, avoid this space, Bow D-Sig, avoid this space, and even knew when to perfectly time the spot dodges for the side Sigs. You saw that once or twice come out. So, although Yumiko isn't played that much, some people just know how to her. They don't fight her that much. She is just that unique of a character, and that's why sometimes being unique is a bit of a downfall. Because although when you don't really, hey, double Metra, trying to fight Vortex at his own game, Himwe is
Both of them are representing Far now. Who's the better? Who can represent Far better? That's the answer that we are gonna get after this game.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
The last match was a 3 stock, and yeah, that should have tilted him a bit. No, trying to get things serious here. It's a gold forged gauntlet versus a sky forged gauntlet. Personally, I don't know which feels better, but I've never used any of the sky forged weapons. What about you?
No, I have never used any Skyforged or Goldforged weapons, but Himwe using a Goldforged gauntlet into that that BCX Throne Time to celebrate finally being able to come back and get a stock off of Vortex. The celebration is quite well deserved, along with a bunch of ground
Oh, he
pounds,
gets
and
the
Nair's
second knockout as
Himley
well,
is
dude.
able to take a 7-second stock.
And
Little
the
did
cause
it
are done now.
deserve. Oh my god, we are 45 seconds in, and Himley has already turned this game completely on. No, this set completely on its head and is at the same lead that he was up against earlier. Now that they're both off stage against Himley's Gauntlet, this could be
No,
looking
he's
like
done
a
it again,
exact
dude.
same
He's done
way.
it again.
Himley!
He's done it again. Oh, shoot.
Himley with a minute and 3 stock.
Dude, how quick was that?
That was a
It
little
wasn't
over a
even
minute.
2 minutes. That's the quickest game that I've seen. The quickest 3 stock. And that too, it was a ditto. The people in chat are saying fluke. I don't know, man. I can't agree with that.
Oh my god.
Himway with the absolute
I'm gonna be honest.
demolition.
I completely forget that Great Hall is.
Oh yeah,
one's
finally they
20
picked Great
legal.
Hall here. Finally they picked Great Hall here.
Yeah, this map is 1's 20 legal.
No, yeah, this time see, Vertex does not make the same mistake. So whenever he faced Himway off stage, he used to dodge up, and then Himway used to just catch him with his Gauntlet Nair. And now he's mixing his options well, so that's a good sign. He's not getting caught in the same way. How do you fight Orb? Yeah, I have the same question, cocksucker. I have the same question. A tiger Brawlhalla says sword. Interesting. He just tagged himself and said Orb. How cute.
One more thing to also keep in mind is that Vortex is really making sure to not make the same mistake again by also using. Now, Gauntlets is pretty good off stage, but it can also be argued that Scythe is even better off stage. So by using arguably the best offstage weapon, which is why people like it so much. Really trying to make sure, like, even if this game does go off stage, which I'm not going to do. That's one thing that you said earlier, that to really make sure that he doesn't make the same mistake again. Really trying to make sure he doesn't go off stage as much and being very careful with how he does Himway in this next game right now. The Scythe is also really great off stage, so even if he does have to go off stage, he has a bit more leeway, as they're both they almost both had the orb matchup Vortex had to throw to try to maybe prevent the weapon pickup. Both these players are getting close to KO color, however, slight lead in Vortex's favor. So this pick for the Fate working out quite well, but a D-Light ground pound is going to miss, letting Vortex get getting a punish and a lead go.
No, they're still on barbecue red health here, but yeah, Vortex gets the knockout. No, the Twitch chat is going crazy here. There are a lot of different opinions. People are saying Lance beats everything. Some people are saying, why doesn't Dolan win everything? Then, oh shoot, the chat is going crazy here. Oh, ping issue, yeah, ping issues. Oh, Bangladesh Wi-Fi. Yes, Bangladesh Wi-Fi. That's what's holding Dolan back. But yeah, chat, what do you think? Do you think Dolan would have dominated every tournament if he had been in Singapore? Do you really think so?
While we're waiting for chat to type its answers,
yeah, we'll head back to the game. Oh.
Yeah, because also stream delay, and sometimes it takes a time to, like really type and get your opinions, and make sure that, at least something that I need to do. I need to, really make sure I take some time with that. So while we're giving chat some time about that, this game 3 is really important. Since the set is 1-1, this determines who gets a lead and, who has to say, like, all right, I really got to stop my game. So
it's all about who.
Vortex. Yeah, this game 3 was crucial, as Vortex now has a lead and is putting Himway on bracket not tournament, bracket game right now, and Himwe needs to win 2 in a row. And right now, as we are about to go into this Gallifate versus Gallifate matchup, we can read through some of some of chat's responses because we gave him a little time, gave him a little bit of time to respond.
That's right, yeah. It's been a it's been a mirror match game. First, Himby's trying something different, and then Himby dittos. No, Himby is about dittoing. He has managed to clutch out most of the ditto games here. Now, if he manages to get this game, yeah, that will be confirmed. Then again, we have to see what Vortex will pick. What's his third new pick will be. So far, Himby is looking strong. He has fared better off stage. Oh, but Vortex gets that was close. Okay, tries to go for the dare into ground pound option, but yeah, Himby gets them this time. Excellent true combo option.
That is why people love Scythe off stage. There are so many options, no matter where you are, no matter how close you are to the stage, no matter how much damage you or your opponent is at, there's always going to be options for you off stage. That is why people love it, because it also has the capacity to take some pretty early stocks if you play your cards right. Himwe, maybe with dealt just one card off from a royal flush, not able to get that stock and maybe get a bit of an earlier lead, but still that D-Sig is going to position Himwe quite nice, able to try and push the ledge guard, but Vortex is able to get the reversal. Got to celebrate with the D-Sig. You got to celebrate with some signatures. Got to mash your favorite sig to celebrate a little bit. As Himwe is actually in a very good spot to bring a game 5 with stocks yellow 2 to orange 2. So Himwe is already going to be looking for the KO. As you can see, Vortex really needs to try to find some stage control, find his way back on stage, and both these players using the Scythe D-Sig a lot to reposition and find new spots around the stage.
So they're exclusively using the dares and the ground pounds here whenever they're off stage. Now both the players are trying the same move, and yet Himby is getting the better end of the stick. But as I say that, Vortex gets the knockout on Himby first this time with the D-Sig, the celebratory D-Sig, if we remember.
Hey, it's the efficiency. That's part of the dares and ground pounds. They're very also just with every weapon. Maybe not so much hammer, but they're very great off stage. Just because it is that efficiency. If you want to KO someone, send them downward is one of the best ways to do it. And those weapons are those attacks are the best at sending downward. So that is part of the reason that you see them use that so much. It really just is the efficiency as the ground pound comes. I get punished by a Sair, and actually lets Vortex get a reversal, but able to try and push the lead a little bit longer. Himwe unable to find his way back to stage.
Now Himby, a cheap blunder there, and that has cost Himby the set. With that, Vortex will be moving on to the grand finals. So it's all Himby does have another chance, but he messed it up there at the end.
Yeah, that puts Vox in a pretty nice spot in grand finals, while Himwe is going to have to fight whoever wins loser semis, which is going to be either there's a lot.
Okay. Okay, finally, I don't think we have any more confusion graffiti because Keith has gone back to his original name, as you can see there. So he's no longer Cocksucker 9000. He's Keith the Poo Poo now. He's embracing his spring champion vibes. If I get it right, yeah. We're waiting for the players to ban the maps. Okay, it doesn't matter, I guess, at this point. It doesn't matter who strikes. Yeah, that's true. Why is Devotion not in top 8? I don't think Devotion played today. Devotion might have DQ'd, if I recall. That's it. We are heading on to the first game in the losers semi-final. No one is representing Artemis. Oh, not enough. Yeah, not enough devotion to devotion. So that's the thing. No, it's becoming a ping battle here in the Twitch chat. It's funny how people are, telling their pings and trying to flex that they have the shorter end of the stick. Yeah, it's a wild battle, but moving on to the main battle here between Keith and Dragondus. Keith is looking really good here. He gets the first stock. I'm pretty sure that's the first stock. Yep, that's the first stock for Keith. An excellent gauntlet string there. Manages to execute it perfectly. Keith now has decided to stuck to the gauntlets. Dragondus switches to the hammer, tries to go for another, tries to find an answer to Keith's gauntlets here. It manages to find a sneaky and a cheeky hammer dare there, but that's not enough to take out Keith. Hammer Sayer, it's not enough to take out Keith. He'll be looking to switch to axe now, considering he's against hammers, but no. Yeah, but that still it's not enough. That Storm Sayer is still not enough. Yeah, that should be it. That should be it. Yeah. With that, Keith Fubu is down to a second stock. Dragondus is still is in a deficit here when it comes to damage, but it can be covered up pretty quickly. People in chat are saying why is Ansem even comparing with Ansem? That's a very different battle is going on over there. Nobody is really paying attention to the match, I guess. Dragondus with his basic bread and butter combos. The hammer stomps there. Managed to catch a couple of them, but not enough to knock out Keith. As unarmed now, Keith is looking for the definitive knockout option here. A sidelight recovery. He has been seeing Dragondus, dodge out a lot after the first sidelight. Still, that's not enough. Another recovery should do it though. Yep, another recovery as I just said, and that does it. Okay, poo-poo. Dragondus is on his last stock now. Yes.
Yeah, earlier that was able to get some work done for Rigundes, but so now that he's got some work done on Sword, that shows some great adjustment, but that slide charge pivot side step, you don't usually see people a lot, but Keith is able to hit that twice to close out game number 2. That first game went so quickly.
That's true. Keith has dominated the first game in that set. It was his gauntlet play. He didn't even go for axe. It was just completely stuck with gauntlets, and he got the knockouts all the 3 times. It's crazy how he does that. Even against hammer, he was unfazed totally.
Yeah, I think now that Rigundes has the adjustment, Keith might have a little bit more difficult of a time.
That's right, yeah. Now he has to, adapt to a different play style of Dragondus. So we'll be looking forward on how Keith responds here. We'll probably be heading back to the same map, yeah. That's right. We'll be heading back to Mammoth Fortress again.
Three, two, one, brawl!
Regunda is able to pick up Hammer, which, just like we talked about, it was able to really do him quite a good favor in that last game, but quickly disregarded as Keith is able to instantly get a very quick, almost first stock, but still a very nice damage lead on Axe. Keith always does this. Keith just waits for the right moment to get an early lead and then just lets that define the whole game, gets an early first stock, and just that is it. It's a very early lead kind of play, but Regundus is able to make his way back to that, learn from mistakes, say, nah, not again. We see a lot of weapon throws trying to cover some space right now as Keith is back on Axe. D-Stick not quite going to do it. Regundus still just...
He goes for the Rayman special, but he goes for it thrice. But yeah, that's not enough.
Regundus just barely able to touch his way back to stage with an unarmed dare. Keith just trying to land any signature he can, as we see that this Bodfar is barbecue sauce red, really starting to be on the last few breaths of life. A sidelight into recovery will revoke Regundus' first stock, letting Keith rock quite steady. Orange on that first, but still nothing that a few unarmed sidelights won't be able to bring you down to. Keith is now on KO. That means that these players' approaches are going to be very different. One's going for damage buildup, one's going for KOs.
That was a very brave weapon toss there. Weapon tosses to the left and then immediately ground pounds, but Raigundus was too aware for that. He spot dodged immediately, but he gets the knockout this time. Keith, Keith had the chance to go back to stage, but he decided to get the clip there. Barely misses out on the ground pump, but that's enough to get the stock. Keith here is...
Yeah, he's just going for clips.
He's going ham, dude. He's going ham on these Australian players here.
Keith is really just going for clips right now.
That's true. How the first game was just slide charge, side sig, and now the second game was an off stage unarmed wreck, I guess. Yeah. And now this game he's just...
Oh. He's...
Yeah, that should be GG's for Raigundus here. He's just a hit away. Yeah.
He's still doing the slide charge side sig. We might even see another one unless he's really just choosing to chase off stage. Weapon throw does not quite connect. A recovery will send Regundus up high, letting Keith have a free choice of weapons. Regundus still has a very good chance to balance out damage right here, but nah. Keith gonna take game 2.
This is looking like an easy 3-0 sweep here. Yeah, let's actually give shoutouts to the ice cream man, otherwise known as Keith the Poo Poo. What does Raigundus answer for this? He has still not picked up his legend, but yeah, he's definitely thinking on this one for sure. See, he has to find an answer for Keith's Rayman. Absolute demolition of a Rayman here. Is Keith the best Malaysian player? Yes, Keith is the best Malaysian player. No, okay, Keith himself disagrees. What does he have to say though? Lee Chong Wei is the best Malaysian player. Okay, we'll agree with Keith here. Okay, but Raigundus has stuck to the same legend and the same drip as well, but does he go for a different map? Yes, he bans Mammoth Fortress this time, small Mammoth Fortress. Yeah, probably looking for a different strat here. Keith is probably gonna ban Enigma and Miami Dome if I am not mistaken. No, okay, he goes for Miami Dome this time. Yeah, exciting game 3 at Miami Dome, one of your favorite maps, Graffiti.
Yeah, this doesn't get a lot of playtime. People don't usually really pick for this. And I love the whole aesthetic of it. The whole, like, super city science sci-fi technology. Wow, chef's kiss. I love it.
I guess you must be a cyberpunk-ish, sci-fi lover. That's
Maybe not as much as cyberpunk, but definitely a sci-fi. Oh, ooh! I'm as much of a fan of sci-fi as I'm a fan of that unarmed dare. Good lord, Regunda is able to take a stock in 20 seconds.
Finally, he does seem to have an answer to Keith's gauntlets here. No, play off stage and then just unarmed air. No, it's gonna work. No, interesting option by Keith there. A double nair. Oh, he catches him with the Rayman special. Is it gonna be another one though? No. He trying to find for that one elusive move there, so that he could knock out Raigundus as fast as possible here. Goes for the Rayman special again. Doesn't work. It doesn't work in his favor. Oh, this time he gets him.
Now, Regundus has a lot of adjusting to do to try to get this, what could be a reverse 3-0, and he's actually not a bad spot to do it, as he could potentially overlap Keith in damage. We have red 3 versus orange 2, but Keith is able to balance out stocks, but it's still a lead for Regundus. So at least this third game is looking quite good. No matter how good the reverse 3-0 sweep, the total set might start to lean. This game in itself right now is looking pretty good for Regundus. So there's definitely going to be a lot of adjusting that Regundus is going to need to do, and it kind of seems obvious since, you know, the player who is losing needs to really step up the game and change some stuff and be less predictable. But another thing that you don't see that much is that the winning player is also changing their stuff up to be less predictable. Earlier we saw Keith going for a lot of those slide charge pivot side sigs, but now it's actually just standing on that ledge and that D-sig to really maybe try to get a stock off of a ledge guard. So Rayman has some very, very rewarding ledge guard and edge guard choices. So Keith's strategy of just sending the opponents off stage after doing enough damage, and then eventually using one of the many tools in the kit that Rayman has to remove, you know, wall hugging stocks is really incredible. Keith has really mastered Regundus for a Delia recovery, and keep in mind, not just for a dare, but the recovery to also send Regundus upward and help him recover, because you can see the second that recovery landed, Regundus was out of recovery option. So that was an extremely intelligent play. But what also happens to be an intelligent play is Keith chasing Regundus down and really trying to remove that second stock as we have stocks even.
That's true. Final stocks here. Keith is in orange right now. Not so good for Keith here, considering the damage deficit. But he has managed to get a couple of punches on Raigundus here. Is that gonna be enough? No. He misses the daylight there. Gets punished for that. With Raigundus' end light. Keith is playing this one slowly here. He has to make sure he gets a couple of hits before he, you know, lands a decisive string there with gauntlets. Catches the recovery, a nair. What does he go for? Does he go for a sidelight or a nair again? Nair again. Okay, he's playing off stage, which is a better option for Keith here, considering how, you know, dominant he was off stage in the previous two games. Sidelight. He's slowly chipping in damage though. See, Raigundus was yellow. He was white just, you know, 10 seconds ago. Now he's already orange. Now he's red. See, Keith might actually clutch this. Oh my god, Keith, you crazy man. No! That was so close though! Keith managed to bring it back, but yeah, he falls short. He falls short very slightly. That was very, very close for Keith. Okay, we'll be heading on to game number 4 now. Unsub says Wall didn't like you. Oh, that's just so sad, man. Keith had managed, you know, he had scripted the perfect comeback, but yeah, the Wall that managed to hold him off. Butterfingers. That's right. We're heading on to game number 4 now. Keith, again, we're heading on. Since we're heading back to Mammoth Fortress, this looks like a good option for Keith, considering how dominant he was in this map in the first 2 games. But Keith gets armed first. Okay, but Raigundus has managed to land a barrage of sword light attacks there. Okay, now it's just Twitch chat is a tussle between the Australian and SCA players here. You guys should probably settle it out in the mid-season invitational when Sire might potentially face off against Kyler Alice. Okay, Keith has managed to bring back the damage deficit so far. What is Brawlhalla? Yeah, you gotta reflect on these questions once in a while. No, not the Rygandus goes for a very fancy option there. A GC N6 doesn't get punished but gets the knockout, which is enough.
Yeah, Regundus is gonna have to play a little defense, hold on to the.
Oh, he goes all the way,
Who
but
does that? Hits a double recovery on Keith after a ground pound was wound up all that way. Who does that? Regundus choose to challenge a ground pound with a recovery because it kind of was his only option.
100 pick Rygandus is just built different. That's true, that's true. You gotta agree with Knifenox here. He's just absolutely, you know, it's the complete opposite of the first two games. So Keith is just getting bullied here. Any option that Keith goes for, Rygandus is able to dodge it and, you know, deliver a proper punish.
Yeah, Regundus is at a very good spot to try to get this KO. However, Keith is also doing a very good job of keeping that stage controller GCD Sig not quite going to connect. That would have been lethal if Regundus was able to take that second stalker.
Oh,
Right now,
gets
Keith,
three
after
stairs in a row,
three
dude. Gets three
different
stairs in a row.
stairs, able to take Regundus down to tournament stock. Good lord. However, Regundus is very, very close to being able to bring this back. Keith still just working on a lead, throws gauntlets in favor of gauntlets. So we have a new one at this Bodvar right now. Regundus has to try to make some chunk of this game work.
Oh, he
Do you see that the deep recovery does come through the weapon throw, mind? Perfectly. Saw the weapon throw come and was like, all right, I know where to place my D-Light, G-Sig, G-B, B-Sig, give me a minute. Keith with a axe recovery gonna send along
Oh,
with...
that's enough, yep.
Huh?
That's done. Wait, that happened so quickly. And Keith takes the set. He was just focusing on how Rygandus was, you know, scripting the perfect comeback, and suddenly Keith just takes the game off him. It's crazy, dude.
D-Sig into...
Side sig.
Rayman. Regundus quite literally got Rayman. Oh my god. So that...
Yeah, that's the
That
end of
leaves
the
losers
loser semi-final
finals.
story. That's right, yeah. As you were saying. That's the end of the...
Yeah.
That's the end of the Australian story in the SEA chapter. No, the Australian chapter in the SEA story. No, a good games to Rygandus. He has performed exceptionally well here. Shoutouts to the Australian pros, Elsum and Rygandus, for taking part in our tournament. With that, we are moving on to losers final between Hemway and Keith. The poo-poo. Winner of this goes to grand final and gets a face-off against Vertex. Both of these have faced against Vertex and both of them have lost to Vertex. So yeah, they'll be looking for the perfect revenge here.
Yeah, be sure to follow the Australian pros on Twitter. They are quite funny people, but keep that in the back of your head. Write a sticky note and put that on your monitor to follow them later, because you got to keep your eyes on the screen right now for losers finals. Keith has been in the losers bracket for a while, so right now the adrenaline is coursing through his veins and he is pumped up. But Himley literally just got sent down to losers bracket, so he's got that vengeance. He's like, I can't be here for too long. This is not how I go out. This is not it. So we kind of have, you know, like someone who has that adrenaline pumping, been like, I've been here for a while and I am not leaving. Someone who's staying their ground versus someone who's kind of fresh meat in losers bracket. And fresh meat is doing quite well as they are currently at a ledge guard and a damage advantage. Keith having a very hard time finding his way back to the stage. Hammer recovery not quite going to be it,
Yo,
but
he
a
gets him
gauntlet
with
Sarah
the
will
Rayman
be the
special.
reversal. It's like Keith is being very trigger happy with these signatures. Himway is just trying to be very careful, making sure that a lot of those don't hit. That DC coming very close, but that Sair to punish. Oh my god, I clenched every muscle in my body when that D6 started drifting.
You know, Keith went for a very extremely brave option there. He thought Himby might fall for his trap, but you know, Himby was just too clever for that. Yep, it's the Java drip versus the Keith drip. The Keith drip, but he's slightly whiter now. But yeah. And Himby has been, he has done a good job impersonating Java so far. He has been absolutely dominant with the hammer, if I should say. Got hit by Keith 6 a couple of times, but he has managed to bring it back. Stealing NA drip is wild. Oh, see, gets him with the GC D-line ground pound, yes. Nah, C is the originator.
Woo, that ground pound almost connecting to, yes, that call out, but Himway able to recognize that with some reaction time and phase out of that ground pound. But yeah, Himway choosing this, oh god. When that D6 starts chasing you, what do you even do? Your brain just kind of short circuits, but that NSIG, when that starts chasing you, you don't have time to short circuit. You just kind of let that hit you. Also using it as a means to get back on stage. They're trying to get the reversal on Himway, who, mind you, like we said, is choosing to stick a lot more on hammer. So maybe part of Keith's strategy is trying to say, like, if I can get that hammer out of your hands and force you to work on sword, maybe that will be the deficit that I need to put you in. As right now, Keith himself is in a deficit, as we have stocks red 1-2, Himway just touching down fresh out of the oven on this first stock, just getting his first few hits in, as both these players' approaches are going to be pretty different to each other. Sword versus axe. There we go, the sword finally coming out, so maybe Keith, this could be exactly what Keith's need, but the delay recovery for the sword, both these players trying to throw their weapons, maybe create some distance, as both these players maybe just, they know what's at stake, trying to slow the game down just a little bit, making sure they both get what they want. Himway now, free range of weapons, able to pick hammer, weapon guarding, not able to quite get it, as Keith is able to pick up gauntlets, is trying to pull a Rayman on him, as these gauntlets still not quite, you can see Himway going for these dares, going for these Sairs, which ends up being the knockout. Yeah, this losers finals is always kind of like personally my favorite match, because you got people like Keith. I know I talked about this a little bit in the first game. You got people like Keith who have been in this bracket for a while. People have been in losers bracket for a few sets now, and have just barely, by the skin of their teeth, scraped by, and have just it's like getting 5 stars in GTA and still running. Like, this man is still running. And you got people like Himway who just come down here from winners finals with a vengeance, and they know it's at stake. I can't go out like this. I gotta come back harder than ever. So that's kind of why the reason that I love this set so much, no matter who is in it right now. Himway is doing quite a good, maybe not actually as much. This map change is so far going greatly in Keith's favor. A very large open plain with no platforms, and a very small, a very small floor, mind you. Again, Himway just ran away from that sizing.
Please.
With a choice of weapons, still chooses gauntlets. Quite good for damage buildup, and also, especially with some of the signatures, not too bad at KOs either. Usually you only have to pick one, but one of the reasons that gauntlets are so beloved is because although it's mainly a damage buildup weapon, it's also not too bad at KOs. So that is part of the reason why gauntlets, and also especially Rayman, there we go. That him getting Rayman once again, putting stocks just over a minute and a half in at 3 red to yellow 2. So this first game is looking a little bit different as we have a 3-star coming out from Keith. Oh my god. As we have the set 1-2-1, we have a character swap from Himwe to try to make sure we do not have a repeat of that. And also, oddly enough, we choose to go back to Demon Island. That is actually a bit of a strange choice. I feel like it was more the map that was a cause of what happened that second game rather than the character. So Himwe choosing to switch the character rather than the map, I don't know. This Himwe knows something that I don't, so I'm gonna keep my eyes very, very carefully on this Fate because they could pull something right out of their pocket. Right now, this orb is coming out quite quickly. That pivot recovery, quite an interesting option. You don't see a lot of Axe players go for that, but when they do, it hits. It is quite a fresh little mix-up they can throw in there for callouts. So it's very refreshing to see that sometimes. And the weapon throw up to try to punish the recovery up. Send Keith a little bit farther away. Ground pound not going to hit. And Keith is able to get the reversal of that and get a ground pound of his own. Setting stocks red 3, 2, white 2. 45 seconds in.
Yeah, that's true. Fate has always been Himbe's wheelchair pick here. Whenever he's in trouble, he goes for the side pick here and then immediately it just takes the game away from their opponent. But this time, Keith has managed to get a very good reversal there with that gauntlet ground pound. He was very much aware and he just managed to execute it perfectly. But just as I say that, Himbe has managed to even it out. So the side pick is definitely his most comfort pick. Himbe was known to play sword a lot, but now he has just switched to side and he's just playing that very masterfully. No, but now he's been trying to get some space there. Keith is still trying to approach as much as he can, with the weapon tosses, with the dash dance end lights there. Now Himbe is just playing this carefully here. He doesn't want to get knocked out by another Rayman thing. Okay, but offstage is king. Scythe is offstage king, so you can't compete with Himbe's offstage here. And just like that, Himbe has taken the lead in game number 3. Himbe is still covering a lot of space, trying to he's trying to bait out that one mistake from Keith and then get that decisive string there. What does he go for? He goes for an Enlight. I would have expected a D-light on OR, but yeah, he sticks to the Enlight. Switches to his scythe now. Does he get any more? Yeah, see, like I said, he's just baiting it out. He baits it out with a D-light and then immediately gets 3 to 4 attacks, 3 to 4 shots on Rayman, on Keith.
This game 3 is very, very important to decide who goes into the lead. Right now, Himwe is at a pretty good spot to try and go 2-1 and put Keith on that back foot as a sidelight Sayer weapon throw. Not going to quite connect just like it did last time, but a recovery against the Keith, who's quickly running out of options, and a slide charge breakdance will send him up 2-1.
Yeah, now Himbe is on the pole position now. This is his game to lose. He can take this and he can just go back to grand finals again and face off against Vertex for the revenge set rather. Oh, okay, but as we talk about the game, the Twitch chat is going extremely crazy here. People are Vertex. I don't know what's going on in Twitch chat. I don't have any context, so we'll just head back to the game.
Keith choosing to fight Scythe with Scythe.
Yep.
If you can't beat him, join him and then beat him again.
That's right. Yeah. You just become them and beat them. Yeah.
Yeah, can't beat him, join him, then beat him.
That's exactly, that's, Keith is actually, he's impersonating Himby's play style here. You've always seen Himby, get the Ditto picks and then diff them with their particular weapons. I think Keith is going for a similar strategy here. Once if Keith manages to get a knockout with Scythe on Himby, that will break Himby. Okay, but
Himby! Oh my goodness gracious!
Okay, I don't know why I said all that, because Himby just absolutely deleted Keith there. No, but if I remember, this was Keith's pick in spring 2021, spring 2022, when Keith knocked out Himby in the losers, in the winners final, yeah. And he won with Scythe. I think that's what he's going for here. But it's not working out so well, as Himby is in a staggering lead here. He's still not knocked out. Has got a lot of hits on the second stop. Okay, that should be the end of his first stop.
Yeah, the pressure is on Keith right now, so Himway just has to try to ride the momentum. Maybe, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say if the pressure might break Keith in some very stressful situation and still find his way out, but it doesn't really count of all the pressure that's on his back right now, as we could be seeing stocks very uneven. Another slide charge breakdance gonna put him in a very nice way, but Keith able to get the recovery for a chase dodge, punish the N-Sig, but not able to punish the D.
Teleporting signature attack, yeah.
Yes, Keith, I think is on tournament.
Yeah, he's on tournament stock. He absolutely has no answer for Himby's Scythe onslaught here. Or rather Fate onslaught, because Himby has been doing extremely well with Orb as well. And those Orb strings during the first talk, and then immediately switching to Scythe and then deleting him off stage. The neutral game has been good for Himby with Orb. But he cleans it up with Scythe, but now he decides to clean it up with a old-fashioned GCD like ground pound, as that ends Keith's run in this tournament. Huge dubs to Keith. Congratulations for ending up third. Yeah, Himby will be moving on to grand finals to take in the game, yeah, against Vortex. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, Snipe Socks. At one point Keith is winning, and suddenly, it's just Himby. The momentum is tilting so quickly here. It's absolutely, it's hard to predict. It's extremely hard to predict here at this point. Okay, we have our final game. It's
Yeah, both these players actually relatively close in power rank 2. We have Himwee, power ranked number 4. Go follow him, coming in from the lower side. And we have Vortex, power rank 8. Go follow him, coming in from the winner's side. So both of these players should be well acquainted with each other, and honestly, this could look like just any old winners finals in any major. So this is a very real treat to have. And also, we a little bit earlier mentioned the bracket reset, and we will mention that here. So the way that the bracket reset works is that since it's a double elimination bracket, it's kind of less about winning it, more about not losing. You get out of the tournament by losing 2 sets, and the last person to not win 2 sets, or to not lose a set at all, is the person who wins. It's basically the last person left. You eliminate people, and there's one team or person left. And so since Vortex is coming from the winners bracket, they haven't been eliminated, they haven't been eliminated once. They haven't lost a set once, and so so yeah, they could close this out and get Himwee their second set loss and just get them out of the tournament, or Himwee could come back and get Vortex down, and then that will be the reset. So Himwee needs to win 2 sets, while Vortex just needs to win 1.
games.
So
Yep.
yeah, so that's part of the reason why grand finals are always very hard to predict, because They could either be a quick 3-0 or they could be a grueling 10-game long match. So
Exactly.
you really never know. You really never know how this is gonna go. If you're coming from winners bracket, you have 2 chances to win. 2 chances to win the whole tournament. But if you're coming from lowers bracket, you have 1 chance. As we have the Fate into Fate. Both on the same stance, mind you. We have you could literally could not have written a better script. Both 2v2 champions on Fate with the same stance, I think that being speed, one of which wearing darker colors, one of which wearing brighter colors. Could not have written a better script. Oh, are we
Oh, we might be
Alright.
facing some internet issues, I
For a
guess.
second, I thought we were gonna have a reset because of the way that Vortex was standing still for a little bit. But once the 10-second mark passed, because that's tournament rules, you can only have a reset before 10 seconds have passed. After that, then I don't know. Rules are a little shaky.
I mean, it's up to tournament moderation. We can make some exceptions, but yeah, here I don't think there are any internet issues. So this is looking like a proper clean game so far. It's a Fate Ditto, except Himby has gone for the crossover. No, it's again a battle of Dittos so far, and
Ooh,
that's what has been the story of this. The
God.
top 8 bracket so far. It's mostly about Dittos when it comes to Himby and Vortex.
Both of these players were choosing to play almost the entire first stock off stage on Orb, but now they're choosing to play. Oh my God! What has happened so far? A minute into the game, stocks white 2 to white 2. Sure. Both those players, they played a lot of offstage Orb and then a lot of offstage Scythe. So I feel like the winner of each one of those engagements now, both with Scythe again, they're both. One or both of them is really just trying to go for the Ditto matchup, just like you said. This Ditto, I don't know, we're going to have to see how this set goes, or at least just the next few games to see for who this is in favor for, but someone wants this Ditto. Someone is trying to force this Ditto. One or both of them wants the identical copycat mirror matchup. Same, likewise, every and any word that means the same or similar that I can come up with, it's here.
That's the thing, it's about breaking that confidence once you play the same weapon against the other guy. And if you just manage to, beat him at his own game, that will, tilt the momentum towards your side. And you'll manage to, and you'll be able to, clutch the set quite easily. That's what Vortex did in the winners final. And yeah, that's why he's here in the winners side of grand finals.
Yeah, definitely, because sometimes, since it's such a mental game, sometimes you don't need to be playing better than your opponent. You just make sure that your opponent is playing worse than you. It's very strange how that works. But
That's
right
true.
now,
He gets him again.
right now, Vortex. Yeah, Vortex just played a little bit better for that first game, but still, we are the first out of, I don't know how many games this could be. Hey, remember when chat was talking about Lance earlier? Yeah, I hope that's over. I'm pretty sure chat's calmed down from that.
That's
Sure, that's
right,
over.
yeah.
We will not be seeing that discourse again.
Yeah, first it was ping. It was a debate regarding the ping, and then it changed to some entirely different topic. Now chat has calmed down, and we have VZ in the chat saying 2 more, maybe. I guess he's supporting Vortex here. Yeah, 2 more would be a clean sweep by Vortex here in the grand final. That would be a perfect run for Vortex here in this tournament. Now, without losing a single set.
And also coming close to a perfect in the sense that Vortex has not lost that many games. I think just a few 2-0 sweeps, a few 3-0 sweeps. I think just 2 game 5s in there, but other than that, not dropping a single set, at least so far. Not if Himway has anything to say about it, which this Lance keeping an even game is looking much better than the last one. And even an early stock, Himway psyching out Vortex with kind of pushing an overcommit. We are a little over 40 seconds in. That first stock went very quick. This Lance is looking pretty shiny. It's going to be very, very hard for Vortex to try to find a counter right now where he really needs it the most.
Yo, they
Oh my
Vortex
God.
waits for the perfect moment to land that D. You know, he has been waiting for that moment this entire time to land that perfect side recovery there, hasn't he?
Waits out the Lance recovery. Mind you, while he was running out of options, not panicking.
No, takes a lot of calm there. You know, Himby goes for the signature Scarlet move there, but it doesn't land. But yeah, eventually he gets him with the storm there. So what does Senju have to answer for this? Will he switch to Lance again, or will he switch to Hammer? What? This because this is about mirror matching. This duel is all about mirror matching so far between these two. Or does? Yeah, we'll see after this game. It's so close to. Oh, but Dragon
Yeah,
would-
I don't know how much I don't think we'll be seeing Vortex on Lance, but I definitely think we'll be seeing Himway a little bit more on Lance because that is actually doing really well. But right now they have to try and make some work with Hammer. You can also already see that's another thing that you talked a little bit earlier. Players' ability to bait out attacks. You can see Himway starting to do that a little bit, like jump and then dodge right back down to try to bait. Oh, you think I'm gonna approach? Nah, I'm gonna let you make a mistake first, and then I'll punish that. So the bait and punish really starting to come out, but it ends up not being a bait and punish, but rather just a classic old Sair into weapon throw, letting Himway tie up the set. This Scarlet pick is looking pretty good, and there's a small chance we could be seeing a character swap from Vortex.
That's right, yeah.
Probably with a similar weapon though, because the Fate was looking pretty good. Maybe just something slightly different. Maybe another Scythe Orb character, or maybe just need a little bit of time, collect your thoughts, drink a little bit more water, and lock right back into the Fate. Hard to tell, but no, it actually is another Scythe character.
He just has the idea. He switches legends now. It's not exactly a mirror pick here, but it will be enough to beat Lance at least. No, Axe has a great matchup against Lance. That's the thing, though.
High attack versus high dex.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
They're at the Great Hall. So yeah, the second time we are seeing this map today. Not the most. Oh wait, does he? Okay, never mind. Now.
My God,
Dude, that was so close. These guys love playing off stage. They love being in the pressure so much.
how do they
don't
keep
they?
getting back? How do they not panic?
Exactly. Now, how do they not panic? You know, spam a recovery or something and get knocked out, and be like, "Oh shoot, I just SD." How are they not like that? You know, that's crazy. How these guys thrive in that pressure there. MB goes for a very bold weapon toss there, but yeah, he catches him with the side stick. Probably goes for the second side stick, but no, okay. He does it with two sets. That's enough. That's enough to get the stock there. I would have expected, Vortex to go for another side stick, which is the usual follow-up. But yeah, he goes for the Sair there, which is, yeah, it gets the job done. That's good enough.
Another thing that we'll start seeing come into play is that Vortex already has a pretty good read on a Himway. Himway is able to get that down signature knockout, and is also able to pick up Lance. So we'll be seeing Lance square up on Great Hall a little bit, but keep your eyes very carefully on Vortex. Keep your eye on the ball, because right now a lot of nairs coming out from Himway, but Vortex has the read. You can see some of the times that Vortex would try and, send out an attack and then chase dodge or jump in the right direction that Himway is end up going to. Not able to fully get a commit just yet. That's still working through, but still, so far the movement and where Himway chooses to go next is pretty in Vortex's hand right now. So those reads will be coming out unless
Cancels
out
that's the best flash I've seen when it comes to Sigs. Oh, Himby, he just SD.
Oh no.
Vortex, just the better, mental player here, playing off stage. That was crazy. You don't see Himby making such mistakes. He was extremely confident in the last set against Keith when it comes to offstage, but this game, the pressure, he's feeling the pressure there against Vortex's side. Vortex, he didn't even have to do anything. He was just jumping around, he was just dodging, he was just waiting for the perfect punish, but yeah, he didn't even get that opportunity. Himby just SD'd on his own. But right as I say that, Himbe is close to knocking out Vertex here to his final stock. Vertex desperately trying to seek a weapon here, gets the scythe again. We haven't seen him play axe much at all this game. When I first saw his pick, I thought, okay, he has picked up axe, just to counter Lance there. But no, he's just played it with scythe. Maybe it was the 6, I guess, and the stat change so far.
Yeah, and also part of the reason that he's choosing to stay a lot on Scythe is because Scythe is what was doing him a miracle on Fate earlier, if you remember. So the fact that, if you're choosing a character with a similar weapon, you're going to want to try to use that weapon, but actually, no, maybe you're right about something. That axe does work quite well as Himwe over on the Mordex. Maybe we could be having a double Mordex. I mean, that does put Vortex at, I think, a 2-0, does it not? Not a 2-1,
That's 2-1,
actually, does it
2-1,
not?
yeah, 2-1. So Vertex is just one game away from being crowned the champion. So what's his pick here?
Yeah, this is why you want it. If you're going to be in grand finals, you want to / kind of have to, but want to be in winner's side because Vortex is one game away from, and if Himwe wants to win, they are at
It's a
least
mirror
4.
match. It's a mirror match.
Yeah, at least 4 games away. We have another mirror match. Both on Gauntlets, both on Miami Dome.
Let's go.
Ooh, this gonna be good.
Alright, both have picked up Scythe on their first weapon spawns. Himbe is again playing off stage here. He knows he has to take some time, get that pressure off of his head and then, then go off stage, get some momentum on his side. But no. See, this is not working out for Himbe here. The off stage game. Yeah, he gets him. That's it. Vertex, easy first off. He has not even been touched. Just a couple of hits. See, he's in like what, light yellow or whatever it's called.
Himwe is starting to get the reads too, although, so we said that earlier, Vortex is the one with the reads now. Some of the reads maybe quite not be working out as well. The weapon throw up just to create a little bit more distance, create Himwe a little bit more time to land back on stage, regain his thoughts, and to prepare for the onslaught that he has to try to punish and, weave his way around, and is already not quite even it out, but brought it a lot closer to even. That stock, half of Vortex's stock just flew in 20 seconds because of that, vertical gauntlet combo and a Scythe Sair. Proved us how damaged Vortex is. Weapon throw will not quite be it, but Vortex perfectly.
No. Okay.
Not quite a recovery to come back for the chase dodge after the ground pound Classic Saddle knock. Oh my god!
No, I was
Can't keep
expecting a
up with
weapon
this.
toss there, but I guess Vertex didn't have enough space to react immediately, and he had to go for the ground pound there. But yeah, Himbe utilizes that opportunity perfectly and gets back on the stage and gets the knockout on Vertex here. Now Himbe is now trying the same tech that Vertex used on him, the constant gauntlet ground pounds, but it's not working. No, Vertex is too good for that.
Oh.
Okay, Himbe is
Oh
on this potential tournament stock here. Himbe, this is your moment. This is your moment to shine. There's no
This
second
is
chance.
what.
Yep.
Yeah, this is what I like to call the most expensive stock in the tournament because this is tournament stock in grand finals. Like, that is the most expensive a stock is gonna get that whole day. Right now, Himwe releases, feel that pressure. Himwe, keep in mind, from Loser's Bracket was the one coming from Loser's Bracket who was coming there after being there for a while. So Himwe with that vengeance really coming back to try and bite Vortex in the bag. Both last stock. This is just either for a game 5 or a 2-1 closeout.
Yep.
So this is gonna be intense. Himwe starting to get on KO color while Vortex barely touched on this last stock though.
Vertex looked extremely strong with that gauntlet string there, Oh, it's close. The recovery is not enough. Another one will do it. Vertex, what do you have? Himbe, this is your chance. Okay, gets a read, gets another read. 4 hits there. Couldn't get the 5th hit. Okay. Doesn't get punished. Vertex is lucky, he lives to fight another day here. Okay, gets the Sair. Is that it? Is that it? No, it's not yet. It's not yet. Oh, Himbe there, dodging that weapon toss like an absolute boss. Oh, he does it! Himbe does it! That's crazy. Himbe came back from the dead there and clutched that game. Absolutely crazy.
With a bit of so much as a drip. Kind of depends on what you count as drip. With a color swap coming up from Vortex. Game 5 pre-bracket.
All right, we are heading on to game number 5 now. Potentially the last game for him be, the last chance for Vortex here to clean things up. Himby starts off well with a couple of scythe moves there. Tries to go for a very brave sig but doesn't land it. Then immediately we see Vortex picking up the gauntlets and then landing more than just 4 to 5 hits there. Himby is in orange now. Goes for a scythe ground pound. Not enough to get a very conclusive side string there. Just a single hit and he has to go back on stage. Oh, both these players, they're just spot dodging when they come close to each other. It's absolutely crazy. All right. Sideline, no read. Oh, okay. The pressure.
Vortex!
The pressure. This time it's Vortex under the bus here. He's been, under the pressure here. And yeah, Himby has just delivered.
These guys where a lot of the damage comes out. The scythe is a bit more of the KO tool for Himway, but the gauntlets is really where the damage comes to play. And Himway is actually at a very removing the recovery options. Very well deserved throne time. Minute and a half, less than a minute and a half in, is already on the verge of getting the bracket reset, making this tournament just that little bit harder for Vortex. Already just starting to wind back for those ground pounds. Already very eager to try to close out this last stock as early as possible. Even just look at those ground pounds. Himway just kind of knows that this bracket reset is in the bag. He can literally lose that first stock, and it would not matter that much as we have stocks yellow 1 to white 2.
That's right, yeah. But Himby, Himby shouldn't get, he shouldn't get ahead of himself here. The Vortex, we know how quick. See, that's 4 to 5 hits in a. That was close. If he had jumped, he would have been gone. Yeah. He got like 5 to 6 hits in a matter of 10 seconds. He's 7 hits now. Dude, that would have been 8. That was so close.
Unanswered. Completely unanswered.
Vortex
The game is now
absolutely
a lot
showing
more
who's
even.
boss here with the scythe. But is it too late though? Because he lost the second stock there, in an extremely demoralizing fashion. Will that make the difference here? Because Himby just needs to get a couple of hits here and then then land the knockout move on his last stock. Another side air, and it's still not enough. Oh my god, how many side airs was that?
After a 2.5 stock lead, Himway is back in the tournament at the hands of Vortex's scythe, and it is not stopping. A lot of the hits that Vortex is able to get are still completely unanswered, and Himway really needs to step up this game as we have seen Vortex come back from worse. This could be it. There we go. Himway finally with gauntlets.
Dodges in there. Oh, but gets him. That's it for the reset, guys. So we'll be witnessing a reset here.
Ooh, and Himway for the core.
Himby, he just took it back, stole it away from Vortex here. What an epic game.
Going back on Temple on this, mind you. So Himway throwing a little bit of a curveball in Vortex's favor. Oh no, in Vortex's direction. This scythe from Vortex looking horrifying. still stepping up the pace, controlling the game speed entirely. You can see sometimes we talk about like, okay, they want the game speed, they want to keep up the game speed. Scythe dictates the game speed. There is ooh, I'm confused next with Vortex. The name sounds so familiar.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Dare to punish the recovery, leaving Vortex unarmed, dodge out of the recovery, Dare hits, but that also lets Himway get free range of weapons while allowing Vortex to get back on stage. Another
He
pivot!
gets the first knockout, yep.
First stock in the reset.
Himby was looking strong with the side. I don't know why he decided to switch to the hammer, but I guess this was the reason, you know. Get a new look, get a fresh weapon, you know, and just dominate him again. I guess.
The
He
scythe
still
was-
retains the gauntlets though.
Ooh! That sig was perfectly placed if Vortex
no,
did
no,
not
no.
dodge through that chasing down stage. Oh my god. Yeah, but the scythe
Himby
was
chased
doing
him
pretty
all
good.
the way, man. Himby chased him all the way. Crazy mad lad.
Yeah, that scythe was looking pretty good. That scythe was mainly for KOs, and so maybe was actually a lot of gauntlet, get a decent amount of KOs, get a decent amount of damage in. The gauntlets from him was just looking phantasmagorious. So really, the switch off of this scythe might be a little confusing, but maybe Himway just thinks that the KOs are a little bit more reliable on Hammer, because you got your damage buildup and you got your knockout weapon. Very, very familiar character kind of type, as Himway is able to get a KO with Hammer, putting Vortex on last. Hammer, or also maybe just it is the stats and the SIGs, and change those, you kind of have to give up Scythe. But still, Core might really be the pick, because Gauntlets really came to shine going, for the big plays, for really doing him a service. The Scythe was good for KOs, but the Hammer might be better? I don't know. We're gonna have to see how well this goes. Could be better, could be worse. It really all depends on what happens in the next few seconds, because Vortex could even out the game, or Himway could expand this lead. Next few hits are crucial.
Yo, he gets them hit. And also, another thing to point out is that when Himby was playing Vortex in the previous game, Vortex was an orange. He couldn't knock him out immediately. I guess that's why he went for the hammer this time. Get a couple of sidelights and then the stomps there. That would, clean it up, right? Get those knockout a bit earlier, Scythe, you take a lot of time. You have to land a lot of stairs before you get that knockout. So that's why I guess he has decided to go for hammer this time, but it's not working out so well. He gets tagged by that side sig again. Himby, no, he's done. Himby's done. I think, okay, Himby's barely managed to make it back. Okay, this time it's over. Yo.
Player 2 wins.
That was crazy how Vortex just came back from the dead with that. I don't know how
Trying anything they can.
Himby is in the lead and Vortex wins at the end. Vortex is in the lead and Himby wins at the end. This is just absolutely crazy. The players are enjoying themselves right now, not gonna lie. They're playing different picks, as you can see. Himby has switched to Asuri now, and Vortex has gone back to
3,
the Enchantress.
2, 1, brawl.
Vortex off the Mordex. Still with the Scythe, though. The Scythe was definitely doing Vortex really good. The Gauntlets were they came in to shine a little bit. The SIGs were pretty nice, but really it was mainly the Scythe. And you can even see it in that choice. So you mainly saw Vortex stick with almost always the Scythe. And you can see now the Scythe is what doing quite well, as it's very, very early in the game. And there's the slightest damage lead, but it doesn't really count right now. So I don't even really know I'm bringing it up. To go for the K, opts to switch in for Orb, as he brings him closer and closer to KO color. Is always there to answer back. There was a lot of hits that Vortex used to get unanswered, but now Himway knows what's going to be thrown his way and says, nah, that's not going to be unanswered. Now I know exactly the perfect response to it, but can they have a hard time finding a response to that Orb Dare off the corner of the stage? Do it a few more times in the exact same spot. Rub a little salt in the open wound. As we have stocks actually very cleanly maybe on the verge of overlapping. Yeah, these next few hits are crucial yet again because Vortex could either completely overlap, send the game wild, and also therefore the set wildly in his favor, or Himway could bring us closer and closer to an even game by just closing out this first stock ground pound. Quite courageous, not quite going to do it, as the recovery is needed to not quite a
He did
nair.
not have a recovery. He went for a nair.
That's
Very
good.
cheeky. Yeah. Again, he didn't have a recovery. That was extremely well played by him there. Delight into a nair is a true option on sword, and he just absolutely used it perfectly. But still, Vortex is in a massive lead here. This is Vortex's game to lose. Again, Vortex is in the lead. He should not let Himby get the advantage here. Because that's been the story so far. You see, and now again, see, it's the damage deficit is almost same now. Vortex is unable to get that knockout. Okay. With that, Vortex gets the knockout on Himby, and Himby is on his last stop in the second game of the reset of the grand finals.
Yeah, this could be pretty big because Himway could either tie this up or Vortex could put Himway in a very, very scary spot. However, Himway was able to get the reset in the first place, so
Yo.
you really never know how this
How
could
many
go.
delights and nairs was that? Was it 3? I couldn't cap.
Close to it, actually. Himway has also got a pretty good read onto Vortex's approach, knowing like, okay, you're going to open with this attack, so I'm going to dodge out of this way and bait that attack. So using a combination of baits and reads, Himway is able to bring this game maybe a little bit closer, but not as close to even as he needs, as we are currently what could be the last game in the tournament as Vortex goes up 2-0.
Okay, this is Vortex's game to lose. Come on, Vortex cannot afford to make any mistakes now, because if he loses this game, the momentum is going to tilt towards Himby's side, and Himby is on his most. I guess this is his best pick. I guess Himby is always known for his val in almost all of the official tournaments, and yeah, this is now the game is on for Himby. Exactly.
Cayman Island, Small Brawlhaven, and Miami Dome. Himway done banning maps. It is up to Vortex to pick, and we end up going to Small Brawlhaven. Himway is hoping that this is not going to be the last game. Himway has to get a reverse 3-0 to win the tournament.
3, 2, 1, brawl.
3 more sets for Himby, 1 more set for Vortex. Who's gonna take this? Interesting. Okay, he goes for 2 neutral 6 right as the game starts. 3 neutral 6 as I counted. 4, and he gets with the 4th one. Okay, wait, he goes for the cheeky double side 6. Wait, is he spamming 6 at this point? Is he annoyed by Vortex for some reason? No. But it seems to be working because Vortex is in orange and Himby is in the lead when you talk about damage. Okay, now Himby is he's slowly recovering from the 6 farming mood. Yo, that bait was actually epic. Vortex thought Himby wasn't, Himby wouldn't have any active. Himby would be still locked in active frames, but Himby immediately launched and landed the sword there. But Vortex just got the better of him as Vortex gets the first stock. With that, as I said, Himby also gets the first stock on Vortex.
Anyway, getting these punishes left and right. This,
Yep, that's done.
oh yeah, this is a very, after a minute and a half, Himway in Vortex on last stock.
See, this is again looking like a potential game 5 set. No, Himway. Vortex gives away the lead and then Himby just manages to capitalize it extremely well. This is looking like another 3-2 set to me, to Himby. If
We've seen Vortex come back from worse though.
Yeah, if Vortex manages to come back from this stock, I guess yeah, he has an extremely good chance. He's trying to fish out that orb there. He tries to do the DC and gets punished. Oh, that's yeah. Oh, the double recovery. The double recovery does it for Vortex as he's an orange. He needs a couple of good strings here to put that pressure back on him. Here.
Ooh, the instant catches! 2-1.
That's the thing, dude. Like I said, if Himby gets game number 3, it's going to game 5.
We might be seeing a double Val. Yeah.
Yep, okay. Vortex's best pick versus Himby's best pick. Who can play Val better in SEA? Because I remember Vortex won the Spring Championship with Val. So yeah, there should be there should be an exciting contest. Yeah, this is premium Val gameplay at the highest level in SEA. Yeah, the two Val mains will be facing off against each other. Himby gets the first blood on Vortex here. He gets the second. He lands the second combo in an exactly similar fashion. Alright. So far Himby is doing better. The Nair into the GC and Light. Himby has landed about 3 times and he has landed all 3 of them perfectly. And that's why he's in the lead now. Alright, Himby gets the first stock on Vortex here. Like I said, see, if Himby manages to get the third game, it's going all the way to game 5. Now Himby is in a fantastic lead. It's his game to throw. Yeah, and people in the chat are all face palming and they're all beating their heads. I can totally understand because no, this is a potential game 10 set. So it's just as frustrating as it's as frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. That's all I'm gonna say because it's extremely frustrating for me to say the words as well. So, oof. Pretty sure the players will be more frustrated because it's a mirror pick on top of that. And Himby charges the Densing and gets punished by Vortex's Densing instead. Is that gonna be enough? Yep, that's gonna be enough. Vortex throwing, bro. No, bro, how is he throwing? Vortex is not throwing, Himby is just playing better. See that absolute crisp sword gameplay. Every hit is making. He's making every hit. No, he's making it count. Every hit is making it count. So it's just Himby being better with sword here compared to Vortex. Okay, with that, okay, the game is not over yet. Vortex manages to deny the 2 stock, brings Himby down to his last stock. He needs an almost perfect stock in order to steal this from Himby here. Himby, Vortex, so he's just a recovery away. He's just a recovery or a Sair at the edge away. And Himby has been fishing for the recovery, and yeah, even when he was fishing for the recovery, Vortex went for the side light. So that just sums up the story here. Quite a sad story here for Vortex, getting diffed by every legend that he picks. Alright, game number 5. It all comes down to this. There's no more second chances. The reset has been done. So it all comes down to this now. It's now or never for Himby and Vortex. For Himby, of course, he's in the momentum. I mean, he has the momentum here. For Vortex, it's the last chance. You gotta take this game in order to be crowned as the champion. Alright, so you see a legend swap by Vortex here. Vortex goes back to Mordex. The Fenrir Mordex against Himby as well.
1, brawl.
Himby gets the first blood again with the gauntlet there. Vortex trying a couple of options, trying to toss his weapon away, get a good get something to start off with. But he's not been looking good on the neutral game so far. Okay, just as I say that, Himby gets a couple of they both get a couple of hits on each other. Intense game so far. Both of them, they're just trying to get each other with the sideline, but Himby has been better with those nairs today. So how many nair into GC and lights has he landed so far? I've absolutely lost count. Okay, so that Himby gets the first KO on Vortex. Is this the beginning of the end of Vortex? Is this the beginning of the end of Vortex? Vortex, who was looking so good in the grand finals, he was absolutely dominating Himby, but then Himby just won the third game and then immediately turned the tables on him. And it's the exact copy. The reset is just the exact copy of the grand finals. Again, he's been landing the same combos over and over again and Vortex falls for it. Oh my god, that's done! That's done, dude, Himby! Himby! What is Vortex thinking there? Vortex, what's happening? Vortex absolutely has no answer to this. He absolutely has no answer to this. Himby's onslaught with Val has been absolutely flawless. Okay, but he gets some consolation here. Yeah, he gets some consolation here. Vortex manages to take off Himby's first stock, but it looks very dire for Vortex here. Now Himby is not the type to just make a lot of blunders, so it's extremely dire for Vortex here. The chat saying let's go Senju, let's go Senju. Vortex here. They're all the lone supporters of Vortex here. Himby is looking like he's gonna clean this up. See, he's playing it safely. He's not overcommitting himself. He's not trying to be fancy. Try to do an extra damage and just end up using a stock or something. Okay, but Vortex has managed to bring it back a bit. He's on red now. Is just a sig away.
Himway just needs to build up a little bit more of a combo to make this a little bit more of a game in their favor, because right now you can see Vortex really just trying.
Alright, they're even on stock. They're almost even on damage as well. See, game 5, what more can you get other than this? Last stock, everything is down to this. Who will script the perfect victory tale here? Will it be Vortex or will it be Himby? Both players, trying
Vortex.
desperately to land that, first, to break that neutral and get a decent string. And Himby has been successful so far. He gets a sideline and recovery, but that's not enough to knock him out.
In terms of the mental game, Himwee is able to last the longest, close out a 10-game grand finals.
Dude, the stamina of Himwee, dude. How does he manage to, stay alive till that point? He gets knocked out.
I don't know.
See, he gets knocked out in the winners final. It is 3-1, yeah. And in the grand finals, he's 2-0 down. He just clutches 3 games. And again in the reset, he's 2-0 down. And then he again reversed 3-0s. This is like his revenge for the spring tournament where he got 3-0'd every other set he was in. So yeah, this is the perfect comeback story that Himby can script. That's right. See, Aero is laughing. He gets my reference. He actually gets my reference. Yeah. Funny how things worked out. But yeah, massive dubs to him. He just managed to clutch this one out absolutely well. Now Himby is giving that statement. Now he is the best. That he's the best gauntlet player in SEA. So yeah, he's the guy to look out for in SEA. With that, we'll be showing you the top 8 bracket once more. Oh yeah, that's not updated, right? Yep, Vortex lost. That's right. Okay, yeah, it's updated. Yes, as you can see, Himby is the IBC 1v1 tournament champion. After a grueling 10-game set, he has managed to, hold his nerve and then just take the dub home. That's right. Your IBC 1v1 tournament winner is Himby from Minty Group. Now, huge shout out to Minty guys here who joined us in the chat and stayed with us till the end. A huge shout out to the Minty guys. Yeah, with that, do you have any other words? Wait, let me reduce the music. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I reduced the music.
15. Yeah, they were going from they were one game off from going.
That's right. That's right.
And 4 for winners final. So they went 4.
Here. Yeah, with that, we'll move on to the standings. Massive dubs to Hindi. Congratulations, Hindi, for the taking home the gold medal. Huge shout outs to Vortex as well. He did his absolute best. Took out 2 games in every set he faced, but then he got reverse 3-0'd. You got a feel for that man. Vortex for finishing on 2nd place. Keith the Poo Poo, our IBC hero, for finishing on 3rd place. These three end up on the podium. Then next we go on to Raigundas. Excellent. Even though he had ping issues coming from Australia, he played excellently well and he played extremely well, and he showed that ping isn't really an issue. If you have the skills, you can always place really well. Then moving forward, congratulating Laz and Elsa for finishing 5th, Jerick and Aero for finishing 7th. That makes up the top 8. Then moving on, Sayur, Plum, Show and Weezy for finishing 9th. This is the top 12 of the IBC 1v1 tournament, and yeah, huge shout out to everyone, and thank you for participating in this tournament. With that, the standings is done. Graffiti, if you have any final words, you can let us know. Or if your mic is just distorting, it's fine. I think his mic is distorting. So I'll just wrap it up then. With that, that's the end of the IBC May 2022 Championship. It has been an extremely fun ride. Yesterday, I had a fun time, with Teddy, and today with Graffiti. It was absolutely perfect. So, other than a couple of stream issues, everything went absolutely well, and this is what we come here for. This is what the participants come here for. These exciting games, us casting. Okay, not exactly me. I'm not the most popular caster here, but I managed to find all these other casters who go along well. They just absolutely do their job well, and everything is just absolutely perfect. So yeah, with that, thank you for tuning in on stream. Thank you for joining us with stream. Thank you for participating. Thank you to everyone. Yeah, with that, I'll be ending the stream soon. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure if we are hosting any tournament soon, we'll be updating it on our Discord server. Make sure you stay updated. Make sure you are in our Discord server and be updated. Alright. With that, I'm heading off. And I'll just say adios on behalf of Graffiti as well. Graffiti had a fun time casting. He absolutely loves the SEA scene here. He absolutely loves casting in the SEA scene. So he absolutely sees it as a pleasure whenever I invite him. So yeah. With that, Graffiti also says goodbye to you guys. Yeah. Over and out.
Have a good night, yeah. Oh, hey.
No, wait. Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay. Graffiti is back. Does he have any final words?
No, you said everything perfectly. Me and also everyone else in chat would just like to say a very, very thank you to you, Lazy Bones, for being able to put this whole thing together and being such a good organizer and caster, and also production. For just being so good at all this production. But yeah, other than that, you said everything.
Nah, you're just saying my words. So yeah, it's all about just thanking each other at this point. So we just move on, I guess. Hopefully, if we are coming up
with so much for.
Yeah, that's right. If you are coming up with some new championships, we'll be updating it on our server. Make sure you join our server and stay updated. All right. Until then, bye bye. See ya, guys.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, now I'll find you in my dreams. My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, now I'll find you in my dreams. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. My heart rages around like an ocean in my head because there are so many things that I left unsaid. rages around like an ocean in my head.